Just give me a second and everything will be ready soon. Cool. Oh god, dirt cobblestone is like the most greatest thing I've ever seen in a playthrough. But welcome to hi, what's up? It's kind of unfortunate I couldn't get started earlier, but yes, today we're gonna stream the server. It's 2:22 p.m. What is yours? Mine is 4:23 p.m. Congratulations, it's 2 hours difference. Rather early. I'm streaming late. This is late for me. I just missed my usual time, and then I got distracted with some projects of mine. But I figure this is probably a better time to do it anyway. Even though I can't really see my statistics. Hold on, select stream. Let me see. But it doesn't matter. Really, I wanted to do like a video or something, and I just didn't really get to that. So I'm playing on the server right now. Anybody who wants to join can find that out from stream like 11. Yeah, well, I'm gonna stream tomorrow as well. So it's kind of like I don't know. I'm just streaming the server tonight. Anyway, this is my base on the server. I don't think I've shown this off before. Actually, I've never shown this. Well, I did make a video. I was gonna make a video of the world, but I was like, I might as well stream it. And, yeah, so I just finished my setup for kerosene production, and also, well, I'm still working on it, kind of, to a degree. I just need more metal, and that's what I've been waiting on. I think it should be downstairs in the basement, and since people have been on, it's probably already to go. If not, one of the things I can do is basically just go like this, and that should be both of the chunks I need for my processing setup. Here we are. Okay, I guess there is no issues. Wait. Oh, it's out of fuel. That's the only setback? That's surprising. Well, that's okay. We can fix that pretty easily. But yeah, I usually stream at a different time, but just didn't make the time. So I was like, ah, shit. Could have streamed a little later. Instead, I'm streaming really later. Which is really annoying for me. Because I need to have that at the exact same time every day is what it feels like. My problem is that I just really... Like, I want to make a video, but I just can't make videos. I can't even think of what to do for a video. Like, for a video, what am I gonna make? Okay. So, with this world, it's actually a server. So, if I chunk load my base, and then... Let me go out here and show you, but... There's another bunch of bases over here. So if I chunk load all of my base, and then my friend chunk loads all of his base, and then his friend chunk loads all of his base, and then some other random guy chunk loads all of his base, then you have like 400 chunks loaded all the time. No. What? Using thermal expansion? That's for like kitchen sink pack. Let's not do that. We are playing the HBM mods. But I do have open computers. This is the first time I've actually tried to mess around with it, but... Yeah, we're gonna take a look at some bases maybe today as well. Yesterday was fucking stupid as shit, and my brain got washed. Yes. This is honestly like a pretty quaint biome, or little area right here on this island. But there's like 3 people in this one spot. If you look at the map, you got, well, there was 3 people. I could just, what if I just do one of these? Fuck that shit, dude. That's so fucked up. Oh man, that'd be messed up. I wouldn't do that. Totally. Anyway, the other thing is that I was working on an answering machine for my phone. So that way when people call me, it just tells them that I'm unavailable at this time. So, that's another reason why I wasn't, here. You know what I mean? Because I was busy with stuff to help. You can even see my base from here. That's honestly amazing. But yeah, I was working on that stuff. Answering machine would be absolutely awesome. It's just the problem is that the app they use for that makes it incredibly difficult to actually interface with the app. Do you have at least one? That's not a server. That one's just a LAN world that I host on this system. But this is hosted on my other system, so I can actually have it up for 24/7. It's up for usually, I mean, except for today. We had one instance where it went down because I was running Java 21. So I set my default, like my actual, I set my whole system setting to be the, like my default system setting to be Java 21 while I was working on this application for answering my phone for me, and that kind of caused problems because the server needs Java 8, and the server would honestly, I should put in a feature where if it doesn't have the Java 8, it pauses its initialization and shit, and then waits for me to give it an input. But I can work on that later. That's a later issue. And then, so what I'm thinking is, I have to do Python for the fucking answering machine. Because that shit's not working with just Bash. Having a hard time getting the CAPTCHA to work for Signal CAPTCHA or whatever the fuck it is. But that is interesting. Because it basically is going to end up making my Signal into a bot. Essentially allowing me to just, whenever I want, answer things. But whenever I don't, whenever it's just a generic question, it will automatically answer for me. Allowing me to not really do much. So, and the default answer to any questions pointed towards me will just be me being unavailable at this time. Also, I want to make a Discord bot. That'd be pretty neat too. That does the exact same shit. I could definitely make a Discord bot, except Discord, I think, is fucking stupid some of the time. I might start using IRC, Internet Relay Chat. But then again, I'm not like some people. This is directed at some people from the HBM world. From the HBM server lands. Some of those people use IRC. And so I'm not like some of those people who use IRC. Although IRC is pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. My dirt cobblestone and my dirt bricks look so fucking amazing, guys. But yeah, I'm actually like connected to a server. Instead of being like it's hosted locally and then everybody else connects to me, I am connected to the server. Which could be interesting. Who knows how well that's gonna work for streaming on it, but either way, it doesn't really matter. 9 times out of 10, it'll be fine. So we need to make that shit happen, and we needed ducts, right? I made my ducts, right? Duct dynasty right here. So for this, it's light oil to kerosene and diesel. Kerosene needs an output over to there. Pretty much my only problem right now. And this could be a pain in the ass, but hopefully not. I would join if my computer could load Java. Lol. Your computer can't load Java? Do you want a tutorial? I can provide such a thing. I actually would be willing to just, maybe not. I'd actually be willing to help you with that. Maybe my technical expertise are worthwhile in this regard. But hopefully we'll have some of the people from my actual Discord hop on. I did post it in announcements. Yes, I did. I haven't actually... I've only seen one person on earlier this morning. I think around 10. And then that was before the first server restart, which are going to be at a different time now. Because it's not based on my local system time. It's based on whenever the fuck I start it. And it goes every 6 hours for an update. Oh. Genuinely. Oh, okay. That's not a problem I can help with, unfortunately. Honestly, like, PC building is one of the best things to get into if you ever are looking for something interesting to do. Or, like, of course, it is kind of expensive, but, you know, eventually you can build nice shit. So that's the best part of life, is when you can finally do that shit and make some nice shit instead of cobbling together a couple pieces of trash to make a system that barely runs. That's when life is nice. That's where I'm at right now. I'm at the point where I'm like, I could probably make any of my projects that I wanted to make back in the day 100% better now. I'm just limited in how much time I have. Which is kind of sad, but at the same time, also a necessary factor. Although I'm trying to recoup some of those losses. Somewhat. Alright, so we got it up and running again, it looks like. All it needed was those ducts. Now it should stockpile kerosene for the Purex process later on. My current one genuinely hardly runs Chrome or Opera. And of course, here's like my good recommendation for your starting point is to just find a good OS. Like find so I switched my other PC to Linux. Really? I don't know what that's in regards to. But I switched my other PC to Linux because Windows was eating all of its resources. So I was like, okay, well, I think Windows is probably the issue. And if you're running Windows on an older system, I reckon nowadays, like Windows 11 probably just would crash. Like, I have an old computer back at home, which is like 14 years old at this point. If I were to probably put Windows 11 on that thing, it'd probably fucking explode because of how much resources. Opera is a Chromium-based browser. Like, Google Chrome is also shitty as well. Like, you use Google Chrome, you'll have issues. Whoever lint_y is, probably doesn't have the correct mods. Somebody help them, please. I'm not popping into my Discord to provide help. Actually, oh yeah, here's a new thing. What happened to my armor I had? This is a different world. This is the server. I could do Linux. I have experience with Linux stuff. Cyber Patriots. Also, my current PC currently on Windows 10. Because I can't update to... Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure they also have system requirements. The new mods add... What is it called? Hold on. I actually do need to make sure that everybody knows about that. Okay. Sorry about that for everybody. I should have actually posted that. I just didn't get to it, but I'll just copy them. Control A, Control C. Well, actually, releases. Control C. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'll get some just post out what these actually are, so that way people are kind of aware of what they are. Architectures. There we go. I think I went with the OCMOS architecture as well. Open Computers. CMOS. Or, is that what it is? Okay, never mind. But yeah, it's just, these are new architectures you could use for your computers, basically. So those basically will be an EEPROM you can put in your computer. And what you should do with that is, well, I think they have guides on how to use them, but you should also just be able to pull the BIOS off it using flash-r bios.lua, which gives you the BIOS for the VM. Which you can do that with the Lua BIOS as well. So if you want to know what the Lua BIOS actually does, you just type it in here. If I were to do anything, I think I would run Ubuntu. I have the most experience with it. That's pretty fair. Right now, for my other system, I run Linux Mint, since I'm lazy and like the Windows kind of feel. Although I'm pretty sure Ubuntu has the same shit, almost, if not better. Somebody is knocking at my door, but it's okay. If they really need me, they'll try to call me, but my answering machine that isn't finished yet would solve that issue right away. I sure hope everybody knows that the actual mods for the server have changed. So what's the issue now? Why are we not producing more stuff? $41. Okay, so what's going on here? Why is it like fucking dark as shit for some reason? Yeah, I just need to get the roof finished. I feel like somebody tell them that the fucking God damn it. Somebody tell Alex000 that that there's new mods. And that you can get them from the Discord. Somebody in the Discord, preferably. I'm not sure how somebody outside the Discord would even be able to do that shit. Let's get some of these shitty armors goings. since I broke all my other armor. There we go, that's much better. That will provide us with better protection. So let's figure out my next steps. I said we're going to build a nuclear reactor today, and that's hopefully true. Who is... okay, hold on. Wait, that was my Discord. I think. Was that my Discord? Alex DSD. Okay, good. Yep, thank you. Thank you, beautiful people. Wonderful peoples. I also need to clean out my inventory, so let's do some inventory management and some storage stuff. Honestly, open computers probably would be wonderful for this shit. Pipe wrench. Do we have like some miscellaneous tools and shit? Cool. We need to make dash. We need to make more dash. We have a lot of that in there, so we need to go mining a bit. Then we can start working on how I get more of this stuff done. And then I can start working on computer systems. Now, here's the thing with open computers, is I wanted to make my own GUI for the Lua BIOS, but I've been having issues understanding how to use the GPU and stuff, primarily because I'm very new to Lua. Although, I'm learning a lot about Lua and coding in Lua just by playing Open Computers mod, which is pretty nice because, you know, I've learned stuff about Bash and, like, Python as well. Since I'm also actively trying to learn those on the side, anytime I go and try to study up on some Python and stuff. Because all of those are like simple, high-level languages, easy to learn kind of stuff that allows you to really develop some good technical skills and things. Especially if you can use Linux, you can run that for quite a while. You can... like how I run my server, the idea being I'll have the ability to run many different useful little utilities. Like, that's the great thing about having a secondary computer as well, because that kind of ties into even being able to do that. This is good. But yes, I still have so much trash in my inventory because I forgot to do the management part of inventory management. Get rid of that shit. And the other shits. Nice little cave here. But we need redstone primarily, so we need to stay down pretty low for that. Since redstone is my current source for mercury. And if you're wondering how I get power in the base, look no further than my boiler set up underground. I just boil heating oil until I have my power generated. Using heating oil for power is pretty insane. I also have kerosene, and so what I did in my stream I made was I just my video I was gonna make was I calculated out the actual numbers for actual diesel to kerosene, and what you actually get yield-wise is like 134%. Or basically, in other words, a 34% increase in combustible power in changing diesel to kerosene. But that's overall, if you burn the petroleum gas for it. Otherwise, it's like 99.7% for combustibility, and that's, you're only losing like 0.3% at that rate. 0.4% actually, because it's 99.6. But I rounded it up to 99.7. And since that number exists, you can do whatever you want with such a number. Zinc, pretty nice. This cave system is one of the most extensive cave systems I've seen in my entire existence of caving in this game. Because there's just too much shit to mine in this. Like, this cave system goes on forever. Like, if you look at my map, that's how much I've explored of it. I'm trying to save the lava here. If anybody has anything they want to talk about, just go ahead and send that. Since I don't really have much. Just doing some mining right now. Cause I could be down for some interesting conversation. Three of those. But yeah, like I've ran out of videos, and I've ran out of ideas for videos, which is kind of annoying. And I really don't have the equipment to make cool real-world videos. Or I also don't have the stuff I would need to go do stuff like that either. Which kind of sucks, actually. But someday I'll be free. Can't wait for that day. When I'm a free man. Free man, free of the system, right? You know what I mean? Free. And then I can, make some good videos for everybody. That's all I like to do. But, Let's see what's going on in my Discord. Hope that's my Discord. Cool. That's good. Lots of malachite down here. I really need to get malachite processing and shit automated. Since I have a lot of it available in my underground resource pool. But I gotta make it really easy to navigate these fucking tunnels. There's too many. I also wouldn't mind teaming up with some people. Is this 2 diamond deposits like right next to each other? Also, when this happens, check that this is not lava. Nice. 4. And then 8. No, I was 4 and 7. But it's still better than whatever the fuck. That will allow you to make tier 3 systems if you have an acidizer. You could just process that diamond ore into crystals, right? And then you get like 12 per, which is really good. What bill? If it's the power bill, go get some solar panels. What? I don't know. I know it's a joke, probably. I know it's a joke, probably. But I don't know what it's referring to. Let's continue through my cave. We need more redstone powder, really. That's like the main thing is redstone powder. Talking about the thing Trump did, it changed how overtime was taxed. What bill? If it's the power bill, go get some solar. Oh, okay. I don't really know. I don't get paid overtime. I work more than most people do, but I won't get paid overtime. Which is because I get paid salary. That means you can just get worked to death. I mean, I'm sure there's... But I work for the government, basically, so... Tier 4 anvil. Nice. Basically work for the government. Goddamn. I think what I want to do is switch my job to like cybersecurity later down the road, but I kind of have to wait on that because I got a lot of shit going on right now. So, although I would do pretty good on cybersecurity, I bet. Actually, nah, I'm more of an engineer. Like, but the only real cyber job is like security, right? You only really can do cybersecurity. It's not like they need a guy to engineer new systems. They contract that stuff out to other companies. So, like, I don't know how to progress into that kind of job, honestly. Like, I would rather be developing new systems and shit, like new architectures and different things like that. Honestly, computers is, like, where it's at for me. Found my new nerdology right there, computers. Okay, 40 coal. Coal ore isn't bad. We just need to turn this into crystals. I'm pretty sure we'll pay real soon. The pay won't really change. Somehow our portals are linked, so that's fun. Lols. My pay won't change no matter what happens. Unless, well, it all depends on who's in charge of the government. My pay could decrease or increase based on that. Or what happens between. Like if they're like, we don't need to pay them as much. We don't need them. Like, I couldn't imagine doing my job for less money. If I had to do my job for less money, I'd be like, oh, fuck, no. It's already bad enough, right? Like, if you have a shitty job, the money doesn't even matter at that point. Because the people I work for, honestly, that's where the most of the bullshit comes from. Comes from the people. That's, yeah, I can't say much more than that. Get in the lava, bro. Get in the lava. And then tomorrow, we're gonna be doing a other stream. I need video ideas, though. Need ideas for videos. Maybe making Chernobyl and Minecraft. But, we don't have 1986 compatibility yet. 1986, right? Make Chernobyl happen. 1986, the year of Chernobyl. Year of our Lord. 1986. Nice. Make Chernobyl great again? For real. You said you said you did like cleaning machine guns or whatever, right? That was part of my job for a little bit. Now my job is like, oh, yeah, okay, let's see. Basically, my job is to do radios. But a lot of times, people get that confused with, well, actually, it's not getting confused with me doing combat stuff, but I still technically do fall into combat, technically, for, like, my job. I want to get away from that because it's fucking, A, it's stupid because there's nothing going on right now. So I can't progress where I'm at. And B, because all progress is centered around that, or being somebody with a lot of prestige and accolades. So basically those things are pretty, like, when you end up into a combat arms, it's not great. But if you want to progress, like if you have technical capabilities and you test well, what you should definitely do is look at wherever technical careers are, like whatever you can get into, technical jobs, whatever is probably gonna be good. Those are like my recommendations. Honestly, if I had to recommend jobs, drones are pretty cool for that because they have like the FPV stuff is super technical. I would say stay away from anything combat related. That shit is just dumb. What would you use? Electric press or conveyor press? So you're a comms or controller or something? Well, right now I'm like, so I'm still technically combat arms for like infantry, like just regular infantry stuff. Mechanized infantry, actually. To be more specific, it's too much information for me to give out, but I'll just say that. Mechanized infantry right now. And then I do comms for that. That's a lot of information that I don't really like to share. Since sharing that much information is like, eh. Because the comms in general is super duper secure. But there's a lot of interesting shit to learn there. So if you want to get into the technical field and be a glorified unplug this and plug it back in again machine, because somebody else isn't smart enough to do that, do comms. But I'm going to try to get away from comms because, you see, I didn't realize it at the time, but comms gets really stupid unless you're an actual comms MOS. I'm still just infantry, but then I'm also doing comms. But then some people get that confused if, oh, hey, he still needs to know all of this stuff related to killing people and all of this, right? So we still need to do all of this stuff, which is something that bothered me because that happened a couple of days ago. They were like, or happened yesterday. Dumb shit happened yesterday. It was stupid. Just got into this stupidness because we were there for too long, and you know what happens? Okay, so if you spend too long at work and you're not doing anything, then the people above you tend to get bored and start playing dumb games with you. And I'm not, that's the kind of shit that wanted me to get away from that shit, you know? Like, I don't want to play dumb games. Well, not even really. Just do absolute nothing. Absolutely nothing. It is nice when you're doing absolutely nothing, but when the wrong people are like, oh yeah, let's not make this happen anymore, like stuff like that. Or you're just a fucking idiot and you show up and they're like, hey, can I leave now? And then they're like, some people see that and they go, oh, okay, we can't let that happen anymore. Which sucks. Because now I'm at work all the time. Because I was able to get away. Now I did something stupid. Where I it's hard to explain without explaining it in full. But it's a story for, like, if I actually... It's not a story for here, okay? But let's just say that, basically, there was one time I walked up to, like, ask that. Oh, could I leave now? And then, like, am I good to go? Because everybody else, they were just cleaning weapons and shit. Like, the mounted sections were cleaning weapons, which is really fucking annoying. And it takes forever for them to do that. They were doing, like, full weapons cleaning and maintenance on their fucking shit. And I was like, that was the wrong time to go ask. Because you ask then, and there was... First of all, there was, like stuff, like, the leadership who was there. You know? That's probably why they started watching me more. They started watching me more closely after that. Because before that, I could just leave when the dismounts left. Because I was smart. And didn't say shit. But then I was dumb and said shit, and then that's when the problem happened. Because I got nervous and if they would call me back. However, I'm getting to the point where they're getting a little bit more trustworthy, trusting in me. Not my well, kind of in my skills. They didn't trust my skills for a while, and they still don't. They're like, hey, we're gonna send you to this class, which is about how to use this system, and we want you to ask questions on how to fix the system, even though the system is about, or the class is about how to use the system, which doesn't make any sense, okay? Because that guy doesn't know shit about how to fix the system. He only knows about how to do the system, okay? That's like his job, right? So, I mean, the classes are nice, right? You go to class, you won't be back to work until you're done with that class, which is good because you get off early as shit. Unless the wrong people are going to that class with you. And then you'll end up like that guy who ended up at work yesterday. Because he had finished his class, and he had it with certain people. So, like, yeah. But classes are nice. I'd say classes are awesome. That's why I'm a certified drone operator controller thing now. It means I also can technically make up some bullshit like, hey, I have to fly for currency next week. Like, I could say that shit and then not show up for a whole day. Just say it's gonna take all day when it won't. And nobody really can stop me because there's nobody there to verify. That's the smart idea. That's my plan. New boots is pretty nice right there. Not gonna lie. I've maxed out my armor with the new boots. Great. So that's gonna be nice when I get that class and do that. Or not when I get that class, but when I do that, it's gonna be nice again. Next week, so as long as I get my answering machine up and running, I will have a machine that just answers questions for me. Which will be the smartest shit of all time. Because then it will always answer to anybody sending me a message. Me, I am not available at this time. I am not available at this time. So, like, that way I don't even have to answer that question. That's genius. I am not available at this time. But also it's an answering machine, so it will tell them it's an automated answering machine as well. And then it's obviously the best choice, or best use and abuse of your freedom. Well, here's the thing, is that if you want to get out of shit, being smart is the best way to get out of shit. As long as you can think of a way to kind of, you know, create a good excuse, a reasonable reason, then you will be fine. Oh, like, oh yeah, I had to do this, or like a good reason. That's why people make like thousands of appointments and shit, which is basically malingering. I'm gonna be honest, that's the type of person I don't want to be. This is the one with like 10 billion stupid fucking appointments. But I also like have anxiety. So it makes it hard for me to actually do shit like that. To like actually, that's kind of why they put me into such a position. If I'm thinking 4-dimensional chess, if they know that I have anxiety and that it prevents me from being able to effectively lie to people and stuff. Yeah, but like I genuinely suffer from anxiety. It's like the worst thing. Which I don't really, I haven't really talked about that. But, yeah, it's kind of I don't even know if anybody knows that. They just thought I had like a phase or some shit. But, like now every day is a challenge, you know? It's shitty. It's kind of hard to get through. Because I never knew I suffered from anxiety until like a few months ago. When I found that shit out, I was like, oh, that's what that even is. I had no fucking clue. I had no idea what it is. But like, there's days where I just can't even... Like even a phone call just fucking sets that shit off. Because I'll just start freaking out. I can't actually just function. Sometimes I just want to be done, but like, I know if I can make it through. If they believe you're too anxious to lie, then you do... no, not really. No, not at all. See, I still lie, too. That's the thing. Is I still lie. Like, people... Sometimes I just lie to cover, like... Because it's part of the response. Like, you know, like, I can't tell people. Because then it's like... Oh, if I tell people this, then... You know, like... Sometimes I can't even do basic things and shit. It's fucking... Kind of bothersome. I wish I could get rid of it, but like there's no way to do that. No way to cope with it at even. At least not now. Just trying to get it done. Just trying to get through the rotation. Then after rotation, I'll start working my way to get through to my next job. Get through to a new MOS, and then that should be pretty nice because it'll be a technical skill. People believe, like in my field right now, they're like tech is a fairy tale, but that's just because they're so fucking stupid they can't understand that shit. And then there's me, who's like the genius. They don't understand the technology and how important it is. And without technology, then they can't do shit either. Also, why are you working comms if you have anxiety? Because it's technical. I'm like the most qualified technical person to do that shit. Like, I can do comms pretty okay. Like, I can fill shit. If you have me talking on comms, I can also kind of do it. If you had me send up a medevac, I would probably fail. Because I would probably freeze up. Except, you know, you can kind of push through. Like, it doesn't really set off my anxiety to do, like, a medevac or, like, to do that shit. Like, if I don't... I think a lot of it's just, like, anxiety about, like, getting in trouble and shit. Or, like, shit like that. I don't know why that'd be... Well, I don't know what exactly sets off my anxiety either. It's just kind of there. So I have my 10 dash to make my new anvil. The dash anvil. Hell yeah. And this allows me to make wires, I think. If not plates. Let's see. Yes, it makes plates. Aw, sweet. Nice. I mean, I can do my job with comms, but doing anything else, I don't even think I could succeed there. Honestly, the place I'm at right now, the unit I'm at is just so fucked up anyway. I can't say that, like, because I could get in trouble, but I don't really care. Okay, there's getting in trouble, and then there's actually speaking your mind and doing what should be done. I think it's more important that I say what's up, and actually speak out against the stupid nonsense, rather than just making it my own problem for some reason. It's not my fucking problem. The fucking place is shitty anyway. 16... Okay, I need to make some steel plates then. This is the reason I got the dash anvil, was for this and the other thing, the boiler. But the boiler isn't really necessary because I'm only processing like a little bit at a time. Next goal should be the acidizer and setting up multiple processing lines here for materials. And also burning away petroleum. Actually, we should be fine there unless aromatic hydrocarbons causes issues again. I don't think it will. How much coal gasoline have I got? No, not much. Bitumen is okay as well. So we're okay. We're just waiting on the next batch of coal tar creosote. And then my oil setup is back up and running. Which is good. And then this thing still needs more dash. Well, not dash, but other stuff. Okay. I see where we're at right now. I've got our actual status and everything. Smokestack time. This is a much needed moment. God damn it. I need concrete. Okay, let's build like 3 chem plants. Chem plant. Right? Gonna build 3 of them. So it's gonna be kind of expensive. But it should be fine. Shouldn't break the bank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm gonna need 1 for concrete, 1 for all the other shit as well. I just want 3 of these to kind of expand my capabilities And the reason 3 is a good number is because one's for sulfuric, one's for concrete, which we're going to probably do on this far end. So well, let's go ahead and build a connection all the way over here. Also, I'm noticing you've mostly been running around just checking liquid stocks. You waiting on anything in particular? Well, we just got to that. Now that I've got my actual... What the hell? Oh, that was that. Charging my shit. Well, now that I've got that done, come on, just open my box, please. God damn, that was like 5 boxes opening at the same time. Okay, here we go. I need these. Please give me my cables. Fucking hell. Give me my goddamn cables. But my server's freaking out right now, but... Okay. And we should be able to extend all the way to here. Extends. That's a Java thing. Extends. Boom. Boom. Comms is pretty neat, though, I'd say. Comms, if you're looking for, like, a neat job that you don't get anywhere else, a neat experience, comms. Comms is pretty fucking neat. I like comms. I've learned a lot about shit that I... Like, physics and shit for, like, radios. Like, I already knew all that shit. I just didn't even know how to fuck to... really mess with, the shitty radio technology we're using. But anyway, this should be fine. So in the center, we have our stuff there. And then we're going to go ahead and build a line that goes all the way down to here. And this... So the way my grid works, right? Because with the new batteries, I have to show you all this and teach you all about new battery bullshit. But there's 2 methods... Oh. I also forgot to mention, if you have sulfur... You can dye your cables yellow. If you have any powder that dyes things, or like, if you want to dye your cables, you can actually do that now. So for color coding shit, like, oh hey, I have an input line that runs on this net and a output line that runs on this net, you can just color code shit. Because the last thing you want is to link your input and output lines together, right? So this is my input line. It's set up with buffers, basically. This prevents flow through backwards, or backflow as I call it. And the system runs in series right now. So series versus parallel. You have parallel where all of these would be next to each other, running in parallel, but it uses twice as many diodes. So if we build a second network for power, alternate to this, it can run in parallel. The advantage of parallel is that I have more power throughput because every battery can output directly to my output lines. However, in series, I can only have this capacitor as outputting, but he's being charged by all of these other batteries. So he's more than likely to sustain energy that way. But that means we're limited to our 1 kHe per tick throughput. However, this gives you a 1 kHe discharge rate with a 10 kHe charge rate, which is very useful because, yes, if you limit the amount that you can charge shit to, that's also an issue. So really, you can do a lot of math with these new battery systems to have things configured to your desire. But also, it forces you to do a lot of math now, which is kind of the downside to it. Although, I run everything onto the output line. So, input, then it runs through the inputs to the output line, and then boom, we're done. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I don't even know how many I need. I'm just going to make some copper pipes. Pipes of copper. It should be 24. That gives you 8. I mean, probably enough, right? Yeah, it takes 2, so we have like 2 extra. Why not? Sure, that works. Do a couple, it should be 6. That gives you 48. Cool. Battery time, right? And we have to do these. Make wires. We'll just make 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's 9 to wires. Thankfully, you can't make red copper plates. Otherwise, we'd end up with a huge issue. Yes, we still need to install lighting too. Cool. We're making some good progress right now. Press those out. So, let's see. We'll need 2 plates for each. That should be that. And then we're on to, we'll need vacuum tubes and tungsten ones. A lot less tungsten ones, right? But we still need 6 of them. Tungsten's pretty cheap. It's always been cheap until you get rid of spaceships. Then it won't be cheap for spaceships, but we're continuing on with more tasks. I like this. Nice. Nice. Then we should be able to make our wires. So what we're going to do... Coils. 3. That's our 6 motors done for chem plants. I like to have things organized too, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Heating coils. Nice. And then finally, analog circuit board. Which is gonna be here. Unless I have some done already. I have 1. That's not bad. We just need more tungsten wires then. Yeah, because we could totally make those right now. Cool. Let's just start printing out some tungsten wires and start that process. Oh yeah, on the other world, we're actually pretty far in, right? We've got like a lot of shit there. I also have a hard time focusing on shit. But we're focused right now. Honed in right now. Nice. I've also... Okay, with my Linux stuff, I'm trying to develop a lot of automation for my tasks. So, like, I want to be able to automate, like, even the system restarting and shit, so I can just have it do everything by itself. It's so fucking cool. I like when shit's automated. It's the most satisfying thing when you make all the automation yourself, and then all of a sudden you see, like, all your shit's working, and it's like, oh, nice, it's sweet. And especially with open computers, we can actually do that shit. That's where open computers really comes in handy, is automation. Like, this could be automated, that could be automated. I haven't really done much on my system, but we can actually boot this thing up. And then we can type in Lua to do shit. Or we could just type list. List, and that brings up Fans UI, which is a failed attempt at stuff, but we'll go ahead and do... What is Goober mode? What, Del Goober mode. Goober mode? Gooberment. Cool. And then we'll just do edit. I don't even remember what Goober mode even was supposed to do. Because Fish OS is going to be my attempt to actually put squares on the screen and make tabs. The problem is I don't know shit about Lua. And so even if I were to do a component that GUI and then fucking start writing shit out. But one thing that's interesting is that it's taught me to use local, right? So if you want to do io.read, you just put local window equals io.read. That means it will do local window. So when we exit this, we hit Control W, Fish OS, tab. Cool. fishos types out the name, we could put in fish, and it will print out fish because it takes user input for window. So that's really all I've gotten so far as programming shit. But in theory now, I have an ability to interface with other systems, which I can understand more easily. They might be a little complicated, but I can still understand a redstone circuit a little bit easier than that shit. So we'll be working with those kind of integrated systems pretty extensively. Especially since with those systems, like I program an EEPROM to do all of that shit. Well, I probably would not do that, but basically boot up a computer, and it runs through redstone decoder systems and shit. It can output into the project red lines into the different colors. And that's one of my ideas, is to use a different color for a different line. You can have up to 16 colors. So you have 16 bits capable of traveling off of one system. And with 16 bits, we have a lot to do with that. We can decode that into a lot of different operations. 16. Well, a lot more than 16 operations. Because 16 bits allows for, like, a lot of combinations. If I were to just start printing it out, I actually could make a program that does this. If we start up our fucking turn on our computer, I'll just start working on that. But now we need to start plugging in our chem plants. To make sure that my lines are pretty organized, I've standardized using a box cable 3 for the output line. So then I know, oh, okay, that's the output line. Even though it's pretty obvious if a machine is getting stuff on the output line, right? It should be pretty fucking obvious. It's just a safety precaution, really. Because some people are idiots, and I'm one of those people some of the time. So we're trying to fix that issue by making shit pretty obvious. It would just be 16, right? Well, I'll get to that in a second. I'll make a program that lists out every single binary function we can do. Or not binary function, but step. See, in theory, if I didn't even want to have GUI, like I don't even need GUI for my systems, I could literally just write out fucking my own language in that and shit in that. Because it's just Lua functions. I could write out different codes and things that make more sense to me, which is really neat, really nice. Now that I know how to do kind of a little bit of Lua, I might be able to completely change what it's fucking using. And that is where things get pretty advanced. There's also some other operating, architectures as it's called, that you can use, which are pretty nice. (16 is 16 in factorial? Well, I actually don't know, but I'm pretty sure there's more than 16. If I have 16 lines that I can output on, and every individual line could be a potential... It's like 16 by the power... Well, 16 squared, basically. So that means, like, at least 256... no, there's not 256 combinations. There's probably like 64. There's probably like 64. Okay. So we'll create... edit... bin dump. Bin dump? Yeah. Bindos. I have a system that will turn off a Xernex based on a few factors using open computers. Nice. I'm having ping right now. It's making things incredibly difficult. Binar. We'll call it binar for now. Edit binar. Enter. Yeah, I've seen it. So for this, we'll just do... interesting stuff. But it should be as easy as doing... would be 16 factorial for the amount of combinations. I don't even know what that means. 0 equals a... Or no, we'll just do... We could just do it with a and b instead of doing 1 plus 1. Now the thing is that In order for it to work, it has to increment over. So it has to go over and carry over. But we can't just do binary straight away because, you see, in open computers, escape, okay, Control S, Control W. But basically, if we type in Lua, we can do the exact same shit. But 1 plus 1 is going to give you 2. So, like, really, unless you can do, like, a shift. But you can't just do shifts because it's Lua. Which sucks. Because, like, I can't even fucking do basic shit with this. Because it's not something familiar to me. It's like, Lua is a foreign language. See, because what we should have is 1 plus 0 equals 1, 0. Or, yes. Well, actually, no, it equals 1. But 1 plus 1 then also equals 1, 0. So it carries over. And so I don't know how to declare such a function like this. 1 plus 1 equals 1, 0. Unexpected symbol near 1. Unless A plus A equals C, or C equals 0. A equals 0, then A plus A equals C or some shit. I don't even know. This is too high level for me. This language is too high of a level. But if we did it on an abacus, it'd be easier. So, like, for that, you could just grab out dirt blocks or some shit and just start drawing it out for you all. But with 16 cables and 16 colors, you can do only one color to 16 for all, for one action. I don't even, I don't know. Let's see what we need for concrete. Just a water. Okay. But where is the water at? Why the fuck do I fucking hate this shit, bro? Fucking stupid bullshit with monsters and shit is annoying. Gets in the way of me doing industry, but like if I turn it off, people are gonna get angry. People will be like, oh, why is it not easy mode? Why is it hard? They'll just cry about it. Well, they'll complain about it instead of crying about it. I'd rather people cry about their problems than complain about them to me. It's a lot easier that way, okay? If I have to deal with somebody complaining about dumb shit, it's fucking annoying. But I can't find my water source. Is it in here? Where the fuck did I put it? It should be just like fucking laying around somewhere. Ah, there it is. Infinite water barrel. I'm just blind, guys. To be honest, I can't really program unless I use somebody else's code. But I'm learning because you have to use somebody else's code to learn more advanced shit. I'm also learning Python, which is also very similar. And by the way, I really think the old box ducts, the old cables, look a lot like the new ones. Not the round cables, but the actual old cables. This one for peroxide. Actually, you can do... You don't even need 3 components, but... Suppose we can just do that into a blender. That makes 2 combinations only if you use from 1 to 16 colors per action thingy. Oh, well, actually... Also, here's another thing. If we're going... Okay... So, I'm pretty sure in Project Red, when you run a redstone line, you can have up to 256 analog signals. Analog, which, I mean, that would be like a wave, but we don't have a wave in Minecraft, and analog is not even analog. That just means it's hexadecimal. Well, It's base 256. Technically. Technically, we can do base 256 on a Project Red cable. Or, in other words, we could have, if we wanted to do an analog signal, we could have 256 to up and down for our signal. It's a wavelength. But, I mean, that's for analog. And what really will you use analog for? An oscilloscope. It's not factorial. It's 16 different colors, right? And on each of those 16 different colors, you have a space of 256. Or, well, you could do that for analog. You have 256 space for your frequency. Or you have 256 for your other thing. Or, what's the fucking... for your digital. For digital, it'd be, like, base 256 at that point. But if you're just doing binary, where you can only have one state, then it's either on or off. We only have 16 binary bits to play with. Which means you have, like, somewhere in the realm of, like, 64 combinations. I mean, well, 16 bits is a lot. We could literally start mapping that out right now. I'm gonna go ahead and do that for you all, so that way I can explain this better. Alright, so where I place a schist, that's going to be a 1. And where I place a stone is going to be nothing. Okay, if that makes sense. So we're going to do silk touch. Oh, fucking asshole, bro. Fucking machine gun skeleton. How did I just get that? I've had this for a while. Anyway, so where we put one of these, it's 1. So we'll start off with 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holy shit, you have a lot more bits than I'm used to. No, okay, let me go ahead and try that again. Yeah, you have a huge number. It's 16 squared, though. I'm pretty certain of that. Okay, so where there's nothing, that's 0. Or actually, where there's stone, that's 0. Then that carries over to here, right? And then it keeps going. And this is what 4 bits looks like. So just multiply however many combinations we have here by 4, and you should have it. I need a chainsaw or some shit so I can get rid of these trees faster. Now, in base 256, then each of these lines could have 256 combinations. So that means the length of one of these columns I'm producing could be way longer. Which is why base 256 is like your most information dense available. But that's because red power, or whatever the fuck it's called, has 256 analog levels for redstone. And that's if we were to integrate systems that can do that. Although I can't operate analog shit yet. My skills are limited. Yes, so it is like, it's 256, but now let's say you have 256 before you go up to this layer, right? Like, see that? Like, imagine you have, like, more before you can step up to that. More possible combinations. It'd be absolutely ridiculous. Because you have a high information density at that point. We don't need to worry about drawing the rest of this out. I'm gonna be honest. We don't need to do that. But you all get the point. Like, if I have my stuff using redstone and I start working binary in redstone, then I could do a lot more stuff, I feel like. Especially if I can program functions and have the system run off of that. I could do a lot more with this computer than running Lua. I just have to interpret redstone at that point and run redstone, and then I could even write text to the screen and shit. But that's pretty much all I'm capable of. And I don't... well, also that allows you to route different things, right? Because not only can I decode shit, so if I have decoders that like can run base 256, decode base 256 would be fucking insane, but binary at least gives me 256 different decodes. So yeah, the information density there. The problem is that I can't just work with 4,096 levels of decoding, because then I have so many potential. It's nice. What am I gonna do with that? Like, then I could literally do up to 256. I could be like, command 256, execute. I don't know. It just depends on what I want to do with it. You could also read like a line as up to 256. Oh, like it, instead of splitting things like this barrel into like 16ths, imagine if I ran this as 256 or some shit like that. Fucking insane. It'd be crazy. A lot of numbers right there, though. So, if you want to play with numbers, you can do a lot. You just got to become smarter with the numbers. Well, I have to. But numbers are going to be fun. I'd be excited to mess around with all of the systems we have available in this mod pack. So, especially if you've never played with some of those systems, like, that's where it's at, playing with new systems and seeing how they work and shit. I don't really want to mess with those, but I could do the lignite. Lignite's pretty sad, actually. What do you need to make a... Oh, you need ferrouranium. Yeah, numbers, that's a lot. Numbers systems. Technically, you could also play with the telex machine and shit. HBM has internal analog torches and things. I think we'll make those Project Red things. Yes, Project Red is what it's called, but we'll start making the tables and things for this. God damn, calm down, bruh. Anyway, this is an IC workbench. This is an integrated circuit workbench. What is this for? If you're wondering what this is for, I will show you, don't worry. Why the fuck is it backwards? Place it facing me. I said place it so I can see the front of it. That's disturbing to me that I can't see the front. No? No? You don't want to show me the front of this? It only faces that way. That's funny. But we can just do redraw. What do I do? Like erase? Alloy wire? Redraw? Oh, it doesn't even have a blueprint on it. Well, you'd make an IC blueprint. This is your basic level of for making a blueprint for this shit. Then you need an IC printer with an emerald. And if I can get some beryllium, we can actually make those. But this chip allows me to do all kinds of fun stuff. Because then I can integrate it with the integrated computers. Which is crazy. Or cool. Or fun. Or some shit. The question is, how do I set this up better so I can do that? But anyway, like that'd be the system I need. The problem is, you can't just do a whole computer on one chip with this system. You probably need like 1 or 2 chips, maybe 3 or maybe even more. Yes, circuit blueprint making table, IC workbench. Allows me to put whatever the heck I want on there. LZ, RX, RY, and RZ upgrade. I don't even know what those do. OR gate, NOR gate. These are all your logical functions and NAND. So if we wanted to, instead of me having to put in, so what I could do with this Lua system is output into a binary system and do my calculations there. And I can run 16 bits binary then, which this is actually going to be probably the best way of even doing this. So that's what I will do. I will set up a binary system, and I'll be able to calculate without using code, since I hate coding, because I suck at it. It's typical of most things I suck at. I just need to make that blueprint thing, and I need a emerald to get that started. This is good, because I'll get some other stuff this way. The main reason for processing this lignite was so I could get more concrete so I can start setting up my exhaust ducts, since that's a big issue right now. We'll just coke all this shit. And then I'll start teaching about the joys of adders. Some people told me these are called fairy tales, because it's not useful, right? Watch what I can do when I hook up a system to the other thing. Stop it, you fucking bitch. God damn. Holy shit, that was pretty annoying. So we have emeralds. Then I can use this. Lapis. We need lapis. Which I don't even know if I have any. Oh, okay, I do. 4. And for the blueprint, you can make it as large as you want. Me, I'm going to make it as large as possible, probably. Am I still poisoned? Well, I poisoned. God damn it. Well, I poisoned fish. I'll go ahead and see what the crucible's doing right now. Looks like it probably needs more fuel soon. Keep cooking. We do need titanium at some point. We will fix this and have it hooked up eventually, but we'll head upstairs for my gravity lift. Nice. Dash isn't getting made, but everything else is. Kerosene. Nice. We'll have rocket fuel, basically. Gravel. Gravel to concrete. See that, when those are done. Okay, where's the, these are done. Okay, that's all I need. Then I can make the first blueprint and start drawing out the adder system. And some people in my Discord have also already know this shit and already know how to do this. Which is pretty fancy. Wait, there's a fucking... Huh? Oh, it just needs redstone. Cool. That's even better. That's even cheaper. I just got confused because it needs something else. You know what I mean? Just do lapis. Or paper backwards. Backwards. I see blueprint. This is the first thing you need. Just slap it on the table. Redraw. And look at this. I have up to a 16 or 64 by 64 I can do. I'm going to do that. We're going to call this a CPU. Or actually, this is an ALU. Now, there's two things you'll need for an ALU. You'll need a decoder system for your... Actually, you don't even need that. Technically, you just need the logic, and then you have an ALU. But to have an ALU chip, you need to have the other stuff as well. For example, you'll need a decoder to operate and choose which functions are getting output through the multiplexer. And that's all you need to have this ALU system I'm about to make. So for our inputs, we might not even be able to fit this all on one chip because I've never done 16 on one chip before. But we should just be able to take in bundled I/O for this. This is the input, and it doesn't automatically go up to the next tier, but we just need to have them like that. Escape. I think this will have enough spacing that I can fit each one Actually, it's better to do what I'm about to, the other method. So instead of doing that shit, 1, 1, 2, 3. This will allow me to put in XOR functions. And then we can use the rest of the open computer stuff to program this thing. We could do 8 bits, we could do the 16 bits. And then we can also add in overflow errors if it has excessive amounts of bits. We might just do an adder system since this is pretty fucking huge. Then we have our other systems on one other. But the problem is if I don't do it all in one chip, kind of is an issue, honestly. But this allows me to create that interface, right? Even though this is a peripheral system by all definitions, I can have that interface with this thing to do things internally on the actual main system, even though this is an external system that interprets the data and then turns it into a completely different programming language, because then we're just programming in the opcodes for the different outputs and output lines. Ideally, it's going to be on these. I don't know exactly how well this will work because I've never messed with integrating open computers with this shit, but we'll see. And of course, the other problem is that we need to have things that are both compact enough to even fit. That's bad. Gotta figure out how to transmit the data to different chip if you can't do it in one. That's exactly the issue we'll have. You see, in theory, the biggest issue with this kind of external interpreter system is that's the biggest issue we'll have. Then we just need to look at how many more I/O I can do on this. It should be just blue, brown, green, red, and black. That is a lot of different outputs. Then we decode those. And those can be the functions. So I could just write that component redstone dot set blah 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 is going to be whichever bundled cable outputs. The decoding could be done. No, maybe it could be done internally. Well, it has to be the output from the into the decode control for the. This sounds like foreign language. Okay, let's turn that off. Escape, escape, escape. Nice. Alright, back to it. So what we should see is that we have every color of our rainbow. Pretty nice. Ready to be set up. And we can start outputting these lines onto this. I just got a message on Signal, not Discord. It was on Discord. Huh? There's bedrock on tactile. There's groundwater, but it's mercury? That's on Eve. Oh, okay. Yellow, green, pink, gray, light gray, blue. Usually what I do for this system is I would set up something like this and then output into my cable. Brown insulated wire, green, red, black. Now I have my bundled cable, which is going to take all of that information and give it the spacing and shit that I need to actually operate with this. And of course, we're going to start with the hard part, which is adding. We could try that fancy system that everybody does with adding, but I'm not even sure. So it's going to be white. Okay, also, another problem is we can only do 2 bits. So this is okay, we're adding 2 bytes, right? Because a byte's 8 bits. So technically we are limited to, for a computer adder logic system, we are kind of limited, but still, if you built it bigger, you could do more, probably. You would just need to have 2 sides of your computer outputting into 2 of these chips to do more than 8 bits of adding. So this is an 8-bit adding system. Still 8 bits, but it can do. What do we need to do to demonstrate but it doesn't give you as many combinations, you know what I mean? Like, if you're just combining each of the lines into one, so you end up with divided by 2, then it's an 8-bit system. But it's still better than nothing. It's an 8-bit architecture. Fantastic. So that is the kind of limitations we got. The first step is and I don't even do a carry in usually. So we're just going to do and, right? That's the first step. An XOR and. But the problem is doing this. So then okay, here's how this works. We filter it out. We do like that, and then we filter our cable, and then we do orange on one side and white on the other. And that gives us that first system. Oh wait, are there upgrades to be able to make larger chips? That's a good question, honestly. Scale, detail. +3, 0. Detail is 0. I don't know what that means, but okay. I have no idea. We'll just leave it at 1. Maybe there is. I don't know. If there was, let me know. Or if there is, let me know. Because I actually don't know. This is like the first part of my adder system, by the way. Because this allows me to pass that white cable through here and into the orange cable. Or if we want to get this even tighter, because that's what we really want to do, is fit as much shit in one little thing as we can, right? Try to get this to work like that, almost. White cable, though, is still an issue. But, yeah, ideally fit it all in one spot. So then we do our AND gate, which I could technically... I could fit that. The XOR is the only thing that's weird. XOR is always a weird gate. AND, though, is perfect. So here's how it's going to work. When we take our XOR gate, this thing can only do 2 sides for its input. So we'll grab our XOR gate. Boom, right there. Perfect. First part of the half adder. I think the upgrades you saw in JI might, or whatever it is, might be able to upgrade the... Okay. Let's go ahead. I could actually Google the answer on Google. So what we're going to look for is... red power 2 or red power 1.7.10 IC workbench. I think that'll give me the stuff I need to know. IC workbench is used design red power upgrades. I guess I'll just Google upgrades as well. Upgrades, fabrication, upgrades. The IC printer, IC gate, expansion items. It's fucking AI. I don't even need that shit. Project Red. I don't know. I don't have the answers. I don't think there is upgrades for it. It might be something I don't understand yet. But, maybe. RZ, RY, RX, LZ, LY, and LX. I think that's probably something with computers. Computer system. Null logic routing chip. What did I write pro? That's supposed to be power. Red power. Oh. Anyway, I have no idea what those are used for. Or how they work, but it's okay. Oh, and there's also, okay, I mean, this is fine. Yeah. If there is upgrades or ways to make the amount of space I have bigger, that would be sweet. But it's okay if there isn't. Because I can still do everything within the confines of this, for sure. Well, I say for sure, but what I really mean is unsure. But okay, let's be honest. I probably can do it. If there's anybody who's able to make that shit happen, It's probably me. Because I am the engineer of all time, even if some people might say otherwise. Because they like to believe in fairy tales. Or something along those lines. Okay, BRB. Okay, cool. My minions are gonna do their minioning. Green. We're just building half adders right now. I mean, I suppose this isn't really useful to anything, and I said we were building a fucking nuclear reactor, not a computer interpreter, but I suppose this all fits together okay in some capacity. I like to mess around with shit like this. Now, usually what you do is you find out your spacing, and then you just start printing out your layout, where you do 2 between each, right? If we know the number is, we need 2 between each of these, then we don't have to do as much work, because then we don't have to switch as many times. I believe there's only 4 more possible bits left on that. So here's our line, it extends all the way to here. Then we start adding in our other bits for this. And we should be able to do from gray, no, it's light gray. So light gray is the next one, cyan. And you want to switch it as few times as possible, by the way, because it saves you a lot of time. Trust me. So if we know the shape we generally are doing and the spacing between each circuit, it makes it a whole lot easier. For me, at least. There's our multicolor shit. I don't know if it's red power, actually. It's probably Project Red. There we go. We should be done now with all of our first steps for the half adders. Then we use XOR. We put XOR between all of these. And I don't know how expensive this shit's gonna be when we go to make it, but I bet it will be pretty expensive. So then we do our NAND gate, or our AND gates next. So the AND combines the lines behind it. So you need to configure these so they don't connect with the ones next to them. Because otherwise they're adding 3 bits together and we don't need 3 bits of AND. Unless we're becoming Soviet communist and building ternary. Here I believe in binary, so even though it might be People's Republic of Fish, we're not going to build a communist computer. Yet, at least. Mainly because I don't understand ternary. Binary, I can understand easy. Binary, easy. Now, of course, we're going to denote our different lines. So there's 2 lines here. There's our sum and our carry. So the sum and the carry are wonderful things, right? Well, it's only half a sum. It's a half sum because it doesn't even factor in the carry yet. The first one is a complete sum, okay? So the first one is always done. It's already done. We don't even need to worry about what it is. It's just going to be outputted on this red line, so that way we know it's done. And then the other color is going to be blue for the carryover. Since that's a good, memorable system, we will standardize this amongst all of them. There will be no differences, no exceptions. And of course, if in the cell section right here, this cell allows you to bypass and go over another thing, basically. So that's the advantage of that, because then we now have our next set of AND gates. Now this guy, there's going to be another XOR at the end, right? Clearly, another XOR. And then we need another AND gate, right here, which is the carryover. The AND will take this output, right? This is the carry output, right? See, this guy has a C out right here, or the blue is carry out. So if we need blue plus blue equals next color, right? Perfect, easy. AND gate right here, facing that direction. Remove, configure it 2 times, 3 times, yep. So we'll need to add in 3 different AND gates configured to do those functions. But that should make it pretty compact. Fit in there really well. Nice. And I haven't built this exact system before, so I only know the combination of gates I need for my adders. Some people would tell me this is science fiction or a fairy tale, and that it's useless. But those people are also pretty retarded. I say that word with all meaning of the word. They're very slow mentally. Null. 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 And that's the carryovers. Well, see, this carries over into that, but it also needs to go into the next XOR as well. But that's fine, because we've got the system for that. It's basically done. And if we have the next XOR gate set up, it's really simple. Because all I have to do is route this cable around somehow. I suppose what I could just do is completely ignore... Well, no, I can't do that. Let's just go ahead and say that's fine. As it is. We'll work with it like so. Put in my next system of XOR or null passages. These basically are just passages, right? So if I were to like light up one of these cables for blue, it will be fine. And it will carry all the way through. And then we have our C out, which is just going to return, if it ever hits this point, it needs to return that it's, well, that's for later on, but it will return an overflow error. It's also only used in subtraction, and I forgot how the fuck that works. So that's pretty cool. Now, if this does ever... Yeah, so the first one is a half adder, then you do all the rest of them are regular adders. Next is XOR gates, and figuring out how the fuck we're going to fit XOR gates in here. Because this shit's kind of messy, right? See, the mess is all right here. So when I do my XOR gate, I need to have a red wire that goes this way. Honestly, it'd be better if this was a bit over, but I can't do that due to how I've set it up. So now my XOR is kind of weird because each of these red cables has to run a little bit this way, but it will be fine. Trust me. It's going to work all of the same way. It's just going to lose us a little bit of space, and I like all of the space. No dead space, all space. And then we have our blue wire, which stretches up to the top of that. And then we have our final outs for all of them. But these are XOR gates. So when it gets a carryover, it will turn off its output and just carry over to the next one. Or do whatever the fuck it does. Because if it has a carryover here, and there's already a bit present, otherwise it will just store it in the top. That's the glory of how that system works. So our next step is putting in the XOR gates. What was the blueprint table called? IC workbench. Or you could call it integrated circuit workbench. But it's basically just IC workbench. Cool. Now we've got all of these, and then these are going to correspond to different colors. White, orange, purple. We'll just go with the first 8 colors. White, orange, magenta, yellow, pink, and gray. And then that all goes onto a line after we multiplex it. And that's where things get interesting. Oh shit, I fucked it up. Because that first bit's also got to be considered. Try, if it's not that, just try Project Red. I think I might have said the wrong mod. It's fucking confusing. Because there's Red Power and there's Project Red. And I have no idea which one I'm using. Because I'm stupid. And I forgot. But I also get them confused and mixed up. Pink and gray. These are all of the colors. So that's the full adder system. It starts off with a half adder right here. Because there's no point in having a carry in bit unless you're subtracting. Subtracting is where things get interesting because we have to do 2's complement. But for now, we're just going to build a dedicated adding system. Since we're going to follow an old blueprint I used for an old architecture, which had opcodes for 6-bit. Because I was doing a 6-bit system. But now we can run a total of a lot more bits than that. Decode is going to come in on... It is Project Red, not Red Power, by the way. Okay, cool. Decodes are going to come in through this side, probably. And going to control each of these systems. Here's the problem. we need to have a multiplexer built into this chip. So for multiplexing, you could either build your own multiplexer or use their built-in multiplexer if it's available. If it's not available, it's gonna be an absolute pain in the ass to do. But we should be able to find multiplexer in here, right here. And the way these work, we'll have to figure that out because I can't remember how multiplexers work in Project Red. So what we'll do is we'll test it with, I guess, toggle latches or something, right? I can switch those on and off. And of course, different angles of that. We'll just do an alloy wire there. And then put in our multiplexer. Toggle latch on the bottom does nothing. Toggle latch on the side does nothing. Toggle latch... Oh, wait. I'm doing them wrong. Okay. This makes things a lot more fun. Okay, so on the bottom, it's going to do that, which does something. Allows that side to do something. Oh, yes, output. If that's off, it won't be activated. Okay, cool. So that's how we want it to be, is if it receives a decode from this side, we have to fit the decodes on that side now. So let's make a little bit of space for that. As much as I can. Without being able to, without interfering with my multiplexer system. And of course now we have to get rid of every single color here. So I can add in my null bits, my null cell, which allows me to pass through with a wire. Okay, and then this wire is just going to be white. Don't get it confused with the other white wire. Though they may both be there, the reason that I have to have two is since this is going to be on the different line. It's going to be on the decode line, which basically takes in our bits that tell it what to do. So we control a multiplexer with those bits, and then we control this function with those other bits to get our computer chip, essentially. These white lines will pass through and will give information to the multiplexer units, or gates, or however the fuck they are called, essentially allowing the system to run. That's the beauty of these null cells, that they allow me to pass by and tell the system to output this line. And we don't want it to output by default, so however this works, we're going to go ahead and test it and then get our outputs. The upgrades are only for the router utility. Basically, the workbench is stuck at its current size. Okay, that's good. So now, if we were to do any of our calculations on these, we should not see any output into the final outs on these. As long as this white wire does not become powered. Then we need a way to get that power into that. Which we can do later. Because, I mean, as long as we keep enough spacing between the edge of the paper and this shit, we'll be able to continue to build out our circuits and things that we'll need. Green, pink, gray. That's my final setup. Pass in whatever color we want, really, at that point. Because it's going through a null cell, so it will change colors fine. But this will come from a separate cable than this. This is the final output cable. Everything has to be multiplexed before you can put it on a final output cable. And then on this side of the final output cable, we'll probably put in multiplexers. More of them. Or, well, the actual decoders for the shit. We also need to run a cable up here for this. And in addition to that, we also need to create a overflow out for the system. Which should be hard, well, actually it's going to be impossible to do if I route this cable here. However, we could try to bypass this cable, but that's a huge problem to try to do that. If I wanted to do that, yeah, it would be pretty much impossible to do that. Because unless well, maybe not. I suppose what I would do is create another section. Run this past that section, though. That's where the problems occur. We'll get to that in a second. But we'll just do a line of null cells here. $13, $14, $15, $16, and then we have to put in another set of bundled IO. Then change it to the correct color, which is rather annoying. Oh my god. Gray. Light gray. Cyan. God damn it, I hate this shit. I hate when I have to do all the colors manually. 13. 14 is this one? Is there only 15? Ah, there is 16 colors, but I missed one of them. At least we got it. Oh, shit. That is only 14. Red and, of course, black. Final color. Get rid of all that shit. And then, of course, you have to put in your other cables before you can actually put it on a line. So that way it knows what color it actually is. But this allows me to pass through the system perfectly fine. As you can see, works as intended. It just works. And as long as you don't translate these into the other colors, like red or purple becomes blue or some shit, it won't be confusing. It will be simple and painless and not an endless cycle of computer hate me. Computer hate me. That's what it is. Purple, blue, green, blue, black. And then I can run the line that does this down to here. But wait, it's going to do that shit. The way I can solve that and avoid all of those problems is just to do a black cable. Because, yes, don't ask how that works. It just works. And on this side, I'll do a white one, since that's going to not interfere with any systems there. Output on this side. And that finally becomes my output bit for pain, essentially. So this will be, even though it's going through a white wire, it can be a black bit. It will become an output bit. So that way, whenever this outputs, if it ever does, it will output through here in this bundled IO. So when I do this, and it gives me the carry out, it should have given me a carry out. Oh. Okay, this is a minor problem. A slight issue. Is that I might have done something a little bit goofy here. This is why we test shit before we go ahead and say it's finally done. It might look like this is finally done, but let me tell you, there is some issues. And we can fix these issues pretty easily. Don't worry, it's not hard. Or at least, it doesn't want to be hard. But it probably will be, because of how I did it. Instead of doing things in the way that I knew would work, I did them in the way that doesn't work. Which is rather unfortunate. Because those aren't half adders, those are half failures. This one's fine. This one's fine. But the top ones are wrong. Because that's just how that goes. Unfortunately. And to actually do this properly, what I need to do is fit an AND gate in here. Into an OR gate. Somehow. I need to do that. But I made it super difficult because I failed at this. Now I need to completely redesign the entire upper portion of the adders. Glorious system engineering. But at least we figured out one thing. I'm not stupid to not notice it, but I might be stupid to actually build it properly the first time. We're gonna go ahead and deselect debug. Oh. Erase alloy wire. Okay. Cool, it just tells you what shit it is, but that's nice. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and redesign it correctly this time. Usually you want to output your AND gate towards the other AND gate. That's what I'm gonna show you all, because that makes the most sense. So you would output your AND gates down, redesign them so they're, or configure them so they're the same as the bottom ones, and then you need to output your wires correctly. Right? Output your wires correctly so the C in from this one goes into that one. That's not hard to do. Boom. Oh shit. That's not how we want that to go. However, this will work. Run our blue bits like that. Boom. Boom. And remember, it's all about using as minimal space as you can. So those are all of the carryovers. Remember, the first one's a half adder, since you don't need a carry in, you don't have a carry out bit initially, unless you're doing some weird system, which case, you engineer it how you want. You could do full adders for all of these and manually put in a carry in bit for some reason, usually for subtraction. Of course, this is just a typical, actually dedicated addition unit. Binary is nice when you can invert your addition into subtraction just by being smart. That's the great thing about binary. It's great. And if you can't understand it, you should try to understand it. Okay, those are all of the systems you need. I believe they're all the systems. But here's the other issue. Okay, so that'll be fine. It'll be fine. You just run a cable like that, like that, like that. It should just be like this all the way through. And then, of course, this guy needs 2 bits. He needs a red bit and a blue bit to make it happen. Of course, I'm not that stupid to make a system that's terrible. But I think I might have the solution. We might need to redesign this yet again. Imagine that. I need to redesign it again until I get the correct amount of space. But realistically, run that like that. And we can fit the AND gates, which this might be smaller than my original system that I designed a couple months ago at this rate. So that's pretty good, at least. We've got that figured out. Now we add in our red cables, of course. Remember, red cables go here and here for all of them. The goal is to cover everything and to have a red and a blue bit going into it, but take up as little space as possible. For my blue bit, like this, which is a carry out bit from the previous adder, or in the case of this one, it goes from this adder to the next one. And that's going to be the AND gate for our half adder top piece. So that makes a full adder, because half plus half makes whole. AND gate. Boom. It's going to be weird right now because it's got 3 inputs, but don't worry, I'm going to configure them. And that should have solved all of the engineering conundrums to create the most compact chip for that first step. Most compact system for that first step, at least. So now it's working properly. Here, we just need to add in a control unit or lines for the decodes and other stuff, which is pretty simple as well. Of course, we're going to run a white cable into here. We're going to hit escape, 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 escape. Get out of those. And then put in a white cable for that multiplexer control system. Right? Try to get these as compact as possible as well. even though they don't take up much space as is, and they're kind of limited because it's basically just a line. Run our multiplexers with the white cables going in, and of course that's coming from up there or some shit. Multiplexer system is going well. Now add in the colors. So these will go out onto our line out for all of these. This is so nice. I like my computer system so far. Eventually we'll actually put this into existence, but for now we're just gonna hold off and I'll go ahead and demonstrate exactly what this does. So when we add 1 plus 0, we get a carry out, which is doing jack shit right now. But don't worry, because with this lever, I can say carry out. Oh shit, does it even work? Wait, what the hell is that? It's gotten 1 bit, but it's decided to carry out anyway. What the fuck? Hold on, turn that shit off. Huh? What the hell? Oh, it's inverted for some fucking reason? Wait a second. It's okay, we can fix that really quickly. See, the problem is it wants to output like that, but don't worry. I've just fucked up the system slightly. Again, we should just have to erase all of these. And move this one over slightly. And of course, since I am the engineer of all time, this is nothing for me. Or is it? Or is it? It's definitely something. Certainly is something. Okay, that should be fine, even though it's like connected. Don't worry about that shit. It doesn't matter. Multiplexers go out to here. Oh, problem area right there. Don't worry about that shit. It is going to be a problem if I want to get this one to work, but it should be simple to figure out that one. Because it's either it needs power in this way, or it needs to fucking have everything else shift over for it. I hate that. I hate that a lot. But we'll figure out some way to do that. First one is going to have to be some fucking weird shit that's not like the rest of them. It's fine. It's fine. I say that. It's fine, but really it will bother me to some degree that it has to be kind of different, but who cares? We'll figure it out. Honestly, you could do that, right? Just do a sideways plexor. Fucking sideways plexor. Yep, that will work. I'll give that the stamp of approval right there. It will solve the issue, right? Because now look at that. It's outputting. If I put in a signal down here. Get rid of this. Why do I need to see that? Go down, send my signal. Oh no, it's not working. Don't worry. We're pretty close to solving the issue. Fairly close, I would say. If we shift this over. Again, do that. And then, right, so it outputs through the bottom. And if it gets a white signal from the side. That's how it needs to go. So it's fine as is. Okay. Me not knowing how multiplexer work kind of hurts, but it's fine. It's only a slight hurt to my ego, but the rest is okay. Oh, and that one doesn't even need to be shifted over anymore. Duh. Okay, good. So we've solved all the issues. All of the problems solved, okay. Oh, wait, actually, that one does need to stay. It's okay. It's alright. At the end of the day, it's night. Every little thing is gonna be oil right. Or at least I sure hope it is. Right, that's fine. And then we should run our cables out of this. Boom. 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 Then I can start explaining how to do your carryover system. Right? So, of course. First thing is 1 plus 0 equals 1. 1 plus 1 equals 1, 0. For some reason, it's not outputting. Don't worry. I don't know why it's not doing that. Because it hasn't been routed yet correctly. There we go. Now we have our outputs set up. And of course, if we add 1 to that, add 1 to, well, add a 4's bit to that, okay? So basically, I'm pretty sure this is what it's called, but I don't actually know for sure, so you might have to verify. But this is your 2's bit, because it can only represent the number 2 before it has to carry over into your 4's bit, which would be 2 2's, basically. Or, well, essentially, yes. 0, 1, 2 carries over at 2. 2 plus a 2 carries over and gives you this one. But then you can also have that, a 4 and a 2 makes 1 in the 4s, 1 in the 2s, and 1 in the 1s. It's like having a hundreds, you know? It's almost like base 10, but with slight variances. And this adds, okay? That's all it does. So we turn off that part, because we don't need that shit right now. And the first D code we'll add is going to be probably that white D code, but we'll add in our bundle cable first and see how shit starts to flow out of this. So obviously with our D codes, you can only have 16 D codes available. Well, hold on a second. You can have as many D codes as you have colors and space to put D codes on the fucking line. In other words, we have as many D codes as I need or feel is necessary. It's just I have to decide on what colors I'm using, what's going to be what, and how many bits I need for D codes. Honestly, I don't need that many because there's only so many functions I can put on this chip before I have to design a new system. However, there's smart ways to use less bits to do more things, right? You don't need to use all 16 bits for all of your decodes because you can have one bit be the inversion bit. Essentially, in my architecture design, originally, back a couple months ago, I designed an architecture for something like this, but it uses 1 bit for its inversion bit for its CPU. That's really handy when you want to, let's say, have only 3 bits being used, and that 4th bit's an inversion bit, although you lose out on that extra combination potential, right? Here's where problems begin to occur with this insulated wire here. Put an alloy wire right there, and it should be fine when I go like this. Nice. Now it's on to doing more stuff with less space again. And of course, we need to have this run upwards up to the top. And fitting D codes in spaces like this is kind of a absolute crunch. We are going to have a huge issue with that if I run my D codes like that. Okay, so we're going to try to avoid that. Obviously, if I put white in here, god damn it. Okay, if I switch to alloy wire and put white in there, it should be white on both ends. So, that part works. We just need to figure out how to connect the control system to each of these. And of course, we do have a few bits we can work with. So we don't have to worry too much about colors being an issue. Although there is potential for that to be an issue with the internal computer, which is going to run Lua. However, we should be fine to keep going. So the next steps are going to be adding in your basic logics. Like just A, just B. You know what I mean? Just A or just B. A or B logic pass through. What we want to do... Okay, we don't even need to do those things, right? We could just do XOR. Or... What types of logic do you even want to use? And, or... And then I think that's pretty much all you need. And, or, XOR. You only need 3 logic. Let's actually check. Well, if we do that, and, or, XOR, then you do A, B. It's all about what systems you want to have, really. Because there's a purpose for all of these systems, right? Like, this is data manipulation. That's what the ALU does. The question is, what do I want my system to do with that data Like, yeah, I could run an XOR system, I can run an OR system, run an AND system, but when are those going to be useful? What types of things do I really even need? That's the tailored part of this. And sometimes it's nice to be able to be like, well, I need this for this specific function and this for that function. Basically, we're building a calculator. But what do I need it to do? I don't know. I have OR, NOT, which is, I guess that's the most basic logic, is NOT. But we'll save that for later. We'll start off with OR, I suppose. If one or the other is true, then output. So we'll set up our OR system right here. And that should be as easy as this. Then you just route your wires into those. Technically, if we want it to be even more compact, put your OR down here. Cool. Then we need to figure out how the XOR is going to work before we put everything in. Because this could potentially all go very wrong if it doesn't work the way it's supposed to, or fit how I intend it to the first time. So we have our black cable from the fucking outputs. Oh shit, that doesn't work there. Okay, hold on. We're just gonna do our orange cable, so it will work all the way through. And that's gonna control the multiplexers. Again, the multiplexer only needs power from one side. Ah. There's the problem. Here it's going to have issues. Although, if you use OR gates, you can completely negate that problem. Because that's smart, right? That's smart. Saving space using OR gates. It probably costs a little more, but trust me, the more space you can save and work with, the less extra chips, the less convoluted it's going to be. You know, one of the things I am concerned with is if this doesn't save. Although it should save. Cool. Nice. And, of course, you run those into your next gates, which are going to be multiplexers. Perfect. 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 We'll see if this works, but it should basically switch it over to the next one. I think if I put my switch in here, a lever, which goes in, boom, it turns on all of these. So then, of course, when you get your actual final inputs for your OR gate, and you have orange wire selected for your actual multiplexer, shit will just work. And then so basically all of these are going to go into another final output after that, which is going to be the inverter. It's nice to have subtraction. Really nice if we're trying to make a complete binary system. So we will add subtraction in there. Add subtraction. Now, what would be cool is if we program our actual computer control to allow us to basically control our whole system and save data from the fucking basic computer system into the actual hard drive of an open computer. So that way I only need to have the ALU working. But, of course, the question is, who is going to even want this system? I don't think anybody on the server would want this system. Except for me. But I feel like people could find a use for it if I make it. So, I'll just make the system and then make it available to everybody on the server once it's done. Because it allows you to do more advanced shit than just try to use Lua to do your OR, XOR functions. Technically, you can use if functions from Lua and integrate two systems together. That's the idea. Be like, send out these specific signals, right, to my binary unit, and then I can just use basic shit from Lua if I don't know all of the systems, which is where it's really nice. Really handy, some might say. Now this doesn't output black, so we only need to do... we could technically run our actual wires for the decoder in different colors that aren't going to be used. We'll start from black and go down. Alloy wire to convert it to orange. And then it just runs on this line here. So it runs on the same line that outputs it in. Which is weird, but it will work because I'm telling you, this is genius. This system is okay. So then I have my ability to switch orange on and shit. And then we'll see if that works or not. It will work because I said so. And remember, the same inputs are ran through these cables. Now the question is, will that interfere? And the answer is yes. So we need to avoid that. Just do a slight little detour right there. Don't worry. Don't worry. Output. 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 And then continue on our path of outputting to victory. Then we have this weird shape here, which is going to leave you with a lot of dead space if you're not careful. We're going to try to fit all of the AND functions. Or actually, it'd probably be better to fit all of your not A and not B functions in that space. But remember, every time we do a multiplexer, it takes up a bunch of fucking space, so keep that in mind. That multiplexing is kind of space deficient. Also, this doesn't necessarily need to be done in this pattern. What you could potentially do... Where's my light gray? I have white here. It's almost as if something's missing over there. It's the blue. Okay, don't worry. We'll fix that right away. Looks like you aren't a redstone over radio type of person. God damn it. Redstone over radio and this shit would be insane. Actually, you could technically put this redstone over radio and fucking play around. We could actually invent the internet faster with this. Wait a second. So yeah, this is not bad. I mean, you'd just put, I mean, yeah, you'd have to have decoders, but check out the logic receiver. Hey, well, this is enough. Okay, this is enough. I mean, yeah, we technically already have the internet with open computers, but we could hybridize this system with fucking HBM redstone over radio. You basically would send in your bits from a computer, like whatever, then you decode it at the other end. Like you'd have end-to-end encryption using hardware versus the software element. Like, yeah, you could technically do it with software and open computers, but you could also just do it with hardware and this system. And then, of course, we have our next color, which is something that's not going to interact with the rest of these, hopefully. Oh, shit. And then, of course, that's a problem. Don't worry. So the next line is just going to be multiplexers. And, of course, we'd have 16 different bits. But this is the same shit we just did over here. We just need to make it work. With multiplexing the actual A and B bits. Multiplexer. Oh dear, this could get really painful. I can already see it getting to the pain levels. 5. But there's a problem with this. Because we want not a... Hi, fish. Hello. Welcome to the stream of all time. Streaming a little bit later today than usual. Let me see what I need to do with this cable. Light gray, cyan. I think Which ones aren't used? So we have gray. Oh, we could use light gray for this. We need to not have that happen. So let's not do that. We'll just move the multiplexer up slightly. And this is all going to become dead space anyway. Unfortunately. I do not like dead space, but we're going to have to deal with it. We need A and B bits. So we need not A and not B. Or like, if it has, it only outputs when A is outputting. Which is weird to say. That's an interesting function. But let's just kind of continue my work on this shit. So technically, I can just take this out. And it should be fine for now. We'll save this for another episode because I feel like this shit's too boring for most people. But at least we made a bit of progress on it. It already says ALU. Perfect. I'll just put my ALU in there. Let me pee and then I can start working on HBM shit. Okay. Let's get back to doing HBM stuff for a little bit, since my brain is kind of getting fried by doing technical shit. We need to check what we are doing for this. Okay, so we left off with peroxide, I guess? I guess we need to make peroxide. That'd be pretty nice to have right now. Peroxide production. Yes. I know exactly what we were doing. Industrial smokestack. So we need to do the smoke system, the exhaust ducts. Yep, should be just that. Nice. Smokestack is done. Now we'll head up on the roof, start working on that. Then we need factory blocks or technical blocks. I can start making my rafters to make the place look a little nicer. I think we'll go technical blocks, but I don't know exactly. And this looks pretty painful already. Well, we'll see how that ends up being, if it's difficult or not. I actually don't know much about red power, other than it's pretty cool for hardware side stuff. Because this kind of integration of hardware and software is nice. Open computers plus red power, not bad, I would say, if we can get it to work. It will just be up to my programming skills, which will have to boot up my computer in a second. I want to get a solar panel too, so that way we don't have to worry about having too much power cost. But this requires stainless steel, which requires the moon. Something I don't really want to go do is the moon, so we'll try to avoid that right now. Although we could do it. I wonder if anybody who plays on the server has the... Oh, and this got updated too. It looks pretty interesting nowadays. But I'm wondering if anybody on the server has stuff they can give me, nickel, specifically. And I think I know one person who might. We'll have to ask them later. If we see them again tonight. I don't know if we will. Because it is a little late. Stone. But I'm still very far behind compared to everybody else. A lot of people are super far ahead in comparison. Stone. we're gonna build our rafters, like, I guess... Do you have an ICFR in one of your worlds? Because you can do a chlorine DHC stellar flux reactor chain to get a lot of power. If, well, more klystron energy gives you energy, gives you more power, not if not a balefire. If not balefire. I don't think we've done that yet. We do have a fusion reactor. I do have an ICF in one of my worlds, but it's an ancient world, so we're not updating that shit to a new version, since a lot of shit will get broken that way. Although I have made the ICF before, I haven't made it recently. And we're currently working towards particle accelerator in our main Let's Play world. So, it's kind of a lot of stuff going on. Right now I'm playing on the server anyway, and I don't have shit on the server. I'm behind most people. But I also don't have much time to play the game, so... Like, everybody else has, like, 10 times the amount of time to play than I do. I only have, like, a few hours, and I can't even focus half the time. Silk touch. But there's a lot of excuses for why. And then, of course, let's just go ahead and make this nice and even. So that way I don't fall off while I put in the final layer of these. Cool, that's done. I think I have factory blocks in the basement. We could use those to make, like, rafters almost. So down here is those. I do want to get started on that software end development for the system I'm making, which will have to feature our codes for different lines. I guess 000 will be our no builder's wand. Yeah, we should get one of those in a mod, I think. That'd be a good idea for next week update. The weekly server update. Which happens once a week. If nobody's tracking that. This should be these. Oh dear. That's a problem, isn't it? Well, but this is where my lights need to go. It will be fine to build from the ground. Oh shit. Okay, that was almost pretty painful. I hope a zombie comes flying out of there and kills me. That'd be hilarious. That'd be like top tier comedy, right? Goofy moment right there. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Oh shit. That's where my lighting is gonna go, is on that little rafter we have now. Since we have it, this will make it a lot nicer at nighttime, which is why I did this, because I was really annoyed about all of the stupid monsters and shit spawning in my base. Because I haven't installed lights yet. It's like the most basic shit. Why the fuck would I not have lights installed? It's like driving without headlights. You just don't do that. Anyway, we're making lights today. Well, driving without headlights does have its purposes some of the time. But not all of the time. I suppose. And then of course we can't put lights there unless I shift that back a bit. So we'll do that for sure. I mean, I don't even know if we could fit lights in there anyway. Wait, actually, yeah, we could. Yeah, no, we need to fit in the lights there. It's one block between the edge and one block between each set of light, or 2 blocks between each set of lights. Since I don't have a 4-panel in between. Go outside, climb onto the roof. God damn it. Really need to finish filling in the fucking oil setup. Go onto the roof, and it should be like these blocks in the corner. Yep. That is where I'm gonna put in my shit for the output, or the exhaust ducts. Exhaust intake. Now I'm stuck. Don't worry. We can fix that really quickly by just being smart. Nice. That kind of fits in with the like kind of texture. But anyway, we got our exhaust duct finally. We're gonna have to make those soon. And of course, the next one's gonna go over here on this edge. Cool, let's go ahead and do this. Slabs are like the one thing you can fall off of holding shift if you're wondering, so. But I don't think anybody's wondering that. I think everybody knows that, honestly. And then in the middle, we could do more of them. What if we just ran some of the cables in the middle? Like these. Cables. Cables on the edges. Or we could run them through the middle, actually, for real. I think we'll have enough light as is. It'll be fine. Cool, that looks pretty acceptable, right? When it's nighttime, we'll see how the light is, but I don't know how well it will do. I also really don't like the setup down here for, like... Okay, so I have all of these in, like, the wall, and I don't like that. Like, it's really kind of... I thought it would look better, but no. Vein mine that shit. Just go through and vein mine the shit. Glad that didn't vein mine. I'm used to the Terra drill where it will vein mine. Is there like a zombie spawner or some shit? Or maybe I've just finally defeated all the zombies by installing lights and shit. I hope there's enough factory blocks for what I need. But I don't know if it is. Get rid of this. Shit, one block short. That's pretty sad. It's okay, guys. I'm the only guy who plays Minecraft and swears. Maybe. Do I have that title? Okay, cool. Now when it's nighttime, we'll see how well that looks, but that really improves my base aesthetic pretty nicely. We now need a blender. And we also need to remove that shit. This shit right here is kind of annoying. So we're gonna put it in the ground just to solve some of my issues I have with it. Fix all my gripes and complaints and other problems. We're gonna bury it right here. Now here's the issue with living in a swamp, right? Your entire base is flooded if you want to build a basement level. Or sub-levels. Or put machines in the ground, for that matter. It's kind of a bit of a pain in the ass. And so, to solve that problem, I don't have a solution. I'm just going to try to figure it out as we go. You could just do sand, or fill it in with dirt, which is not that bad of an idea, honestly. Considering we're going to unfill it in to bury a machine. So we might as well just fill it in with dirt. I do love filling in space to put a machine in the ground and finally complete my factory aesthetic. We're doing a decent job at this factory, okay? We're doing a decent job. Okay, there we go. This is not a lot of water, but it did look pretty daunting at first. Maybe it still is. Okay, we'll just do this, do that, do that shit, and then boom. Boom, 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 boom. We'll dig a hole out, and then it should be fine. Cool. I need a shovel. I don't even have a shovel right now. F9, F9, and it's nighttime. I am liking my torches right now. I am liking the torch setup, honestly. It's not bad. This is actually, like, the best the setup's looked so far. Okay, yeah, this is perfect. We don't even need a middle column. I don't know what I was talking about earlier. Middle column? No, fuck no. It's perfect. Except for this side. This side needs lights on it. Let's put those in right now. And I finally finished one of my factory buildings. Which I bet people were wondering what I was building when they looked at the other one. But I'm going to build multiple buildings for the entire setup. So that's going to be pretty nice, I would say. This is just my starting workshop area for now. Eventually, this might turn into something else, but we'll see. And of course, I don't know the dimensions for this machine, but we'll figure that out in a second. The main thing is, if you want to do anything with your power, and you want to have it in a one-directional configuration like mine is, you are going to need to have the arc furnace. Because diodes cost silicon, which makes it really annoying to build a setup around one-directional power, because you need diodes, which cost silicon. I think I have a shovel in one of these boxes. If not, we'll make a dash one. Which only will give you a little bit of slowness, but it is fine. Slowness, not a problem. Because I won't always be using a shovel. I'm just going to do it for this specific task. Set it to AoE 1, which should do the trick. Get us some nice little basic setup. It's okay, I have a knife on a mechanics wrench, which is painful apparently. Let me go ahead and... Caps. Okay, I'm very bad at typing and doing other shit. Why did it fucking default the... what the fuck? There's the reply button. I can't reply to myself, so it defaults to fucking... Cool. There we go. Now I've done my task to help people out in my Discord server. Usually I just have other people do that shit for me. That's the cool thing about networking. You have friends to do shit for you. That should be enough space for it. But we also don't want it poking out of the roof. So we'll do a bit of digging. We'll dig a little bit deeper and really get to the core of our issues. Is that a message on Signal? God damn it. If I got a message on Signal, I'm gonna fucking go insane. My automatic response system hasn't been finished yet. Oh, so it needs 5x6, I think? It might need 5x6. Let's see. Yeah, it probably might. Okay, we might need to dig it a little bit deeper this time. AoE. We'll dig it down to the stone layer. Cool. Alt. And then dig out of the hole. I always like to do liquid casting rather than trying to do all the other shit, but here we go, and Cool Cat is back. And I have to ask him, or them, for the nickel if they have it. So we'll go ahead and ask if he has nickel. Pasta? Panels or nickel? We'll see if he has any. Because I want to charge my computer off of solar power so I don't have to... Perfect. Can I have one? Panel. Asking for a solar panel is, I don't know if I'm gonna get a solar panel. We'll see. We'll see if I can get a solar panel. If not, nickel is all I will need. Well, I don't know why I decided to process that shit like that, but... Sure. Let me see if I can trade some... If I have stuff I can trade. How have you been to space already? What? Let me see if I have stuff I can trade. Redstone, nah. Gold, nah. Cobalt, don't have much of it. I guess the most valuable shit I have right now is my wafers. My tungsten, maybe. I guess a half stack of tungsten isn't that bad. 2 of those. I mean, he's already been to space at this point, and that's nothing. $32 tungsten and 32 bake lights. Nice. So there's my trade. Take it or leave it. Same. Cool. And of course this thing, we're gonna need to power it. That's gonna probably come through this line all the way down to the end, honestly. See, the thing is with the furnace here is that it goes up through the roof usually if you build it on ground level. So we're building it below ground level. That way I don't have to deal with that problem. That potential issue is kind of annoying. Not gonna lie. I'd rather not deal with that. Hold on, have to be right back. Okay, so he's gotta go for a second. Then he'll be able to trade with me for that. Give him some nickel. Or get nickel from him. But give him some, like, polymer and tungsten, which don't really equate. Although he is giving me, like... I'm giving him twice the value, right? And it's, well, is it really? I think it's equal. It's a decent trade. Made a solar boiler setup for the first time, and I thought I would generate more energy, not gonna lie. I don't even do the solar setups, right? Solar setups, not where it's at anymore. I would say don't even bother with solar. But that's just what I would say. We're gonna take these and make them into insulators. Then I'm gonna go to here. Exhaust duct. Exhaust, right? 64 of them already. Which you'd think is enough, but for me, this is nothing. Because I have to pipe exhaust out of everything. This thing. That thing. Honestly, it's not bad that we're not using fluid heaters on all of this shit. But it would be pretty nice to do that. I think I could do that. Exhaust duct goes out. Okay, there we go. Exhaust ducts are set up there. Very, very compact. Very confusing looking. That's our exhaust ducts there. Then we need to go downstairs and start routing exhaust ducts to these machines. So, however I can do that shit. Dear God, this is absolute hell. Oh my God. Is this like, this is the one spot that's not lit up. Stop. Nope. Nope. Wait, did I see a gun? God damn, dude. What the fuck is this cave? Absolute hell right here. What the hell? He's got 2 days and 10 hours? How much do I even have? That's a good question. Statistics. 1.32 days. Oh, that was almost bad. That could have been a lot worse. He dropped a katana. Which is not anything compared to this thing. This thing does like 16 damage. Stop that. Stop! Yeah, it is still impressive. What, the 10 hours or 1 day or some shit? 1 day, 10 hours. Meh. Pipe up through the ceiling with this shit. Then we're onto this. Which that boiler runs all of that in a turbine, so like it's not really that much. I would lock in on stuff, but Berlin must be built. Oh, you're building Berlin? Are you building something else? Oh shit, I need to get out of here because I need to trade. I'm stuck in the soil right now. Hold on. Capital of Tramerica is Berlin. What the fuck? I will throw my good trades on the ground right here. Eh. And eh. Where are you at? Where's this guy at? Is he stuck in the soil? Is he trapped in my soil? Hey, I have my good trades in here. My good trades are on the floor. Thank you. This was worthwhile. Take some string for your valuable effort. And some energy too. I saw that. You borrowed energy from me. Apparently I have a red key on me. How many red keys do I have? 5 billion. We need to hook up another cable system. Paintable cable network. What the fuck? What the hell? 10. 2. 2. I think the most produced thing I have is probably insulators. Because I keep making them. Fish, by the way, have you seen the clay tablet before? I'm watching the stream, by the way. The clay tablet. I don't know what that is. Clay... Oh, what the fuck? I have no idea what that is. It probably summons a bomb. It probably summons Cthulhu. Honestly, it could be anything like that. I have no idea. From a bomb to Cthulhu? That's an HBM thing because I can recognize the ID as 6151. That is an HBM ID right there. Like if I were to go at HBM at nuclear, no, wait, tech, wait. Oh. I don't know, right click with it. Maybe it's used in some secret recipe. Or it contains the answer to the HCAT. Or something. I don't know. It's a new HBM secret, and a lot of the secret shit that was documented is no longer documented. Is this powering it? Jesus Christ. Christ almighty. It appears to be some for making a gun called the Aberrator. Fascinating. Seems like it'd be very thematic for your Berlin build. You could build a Wunderwaffen or some shit. Wonder weapon. Or however it's called. I don't speak German, so I don't know. Wait a second. I don't speak German. That sounded fucking stupid, didn't it? Flamin' waffle. Yes, I like my waffles to be flaming. In fact, I like them to be furious. Fuming. Absolutely insane. Deranged delinquent behavior. That's what I like in my waffles. Somewhere there's like 5 billion zombies under the ground. Let me find some good bricks to use for this. Some good old-fashioned burial bricks right here. I mean, we've almost finished the whole floor of concrete, at least. That's at least a start of the concretization phase. Is that going to be deep enough? God damn it. I'm going to need to be deeper. I'm going to need to do the whole thing with bricks. So I don't have to see any of that nasty dirt. Just cover the most common angles you could see dirt from. And then it should be good. We'll see how that does. We'll see how that looks, okay? We'll try to cover the most common areas. Cover it up in the most easiest way possible. Actually, that does work. Maybe we could just do that. Be cool if it was HBM's water tech mod and instead we used dams for power instead of reactors. And instead of having nukes, we had water balloons. It's because California decided to ban HBM nuclear tech mod for some reason. I think that could happen. That's a foreseeable future right there. So it becomes HBM's water tech. But we all know HBM. He can probably stop California. He can probably do it. Because there is no man more capable of doing that task. Or creature. Rip Californians. They're the most roastable available. It's like Atlantis. You know, actually, I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm just gonna shut up before I say that dumb shit. That's some dumb shit I'm not going to say right now. But I could say that in my Discord probably. Maybe. No, I'm not in California. But I know that 90% of what I own is known to cause cancer in California. So therefore, it probably... Like, arsenic is known to cause cancer everywhere, okay? I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure... Like, if 90% of this stuff is known to cause cancer in California, and arsenic causes cancer in California, does that mean that arsenic doesn't cause cancer anywhere else? I'm kind of confused why that's even a label. I'm starting to get a little bit confused about some of these things. Maybe we need to start labeling things like uranium is known to cause cancer in California. God damn. Then we might not even be able to get cancer from it anymore. Some people might say that's a magical hack right there. But, no, that's just reality, isn't it? Well, that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say something else, but I'm not going to talk about that since that's, kind of personal about people I know. So I'm not gonna talk about them. Because, some people that I've known in my life have been, like, super political. And, you know, it's kind of a stereotypical thing to have that one crazy person in your family who's, like, all political and shit. You forgot about the canned spam? And it's just fucking spam. But there's always that one political person in your family. Or I ain't reading all that. And I had one person like that who thought that California was sinking into the ocean because of the, quote, liberals. Which, I put that in quotes because I don't really care to categorize people as different things. Because that's weird. I just like to think of people as people, and people are individual. When you start trying to group people in different groups, that's how you end up with concentration camps. So, let's not do that shit. I'm just saying, that's simple brain power. A plus B equals D. 1 plus 1 equals 4. That's some great math right there. When you start grouping people up, like, ah, yes. All of these people deserve this thing. But not all people are built like that. You know what I mean? How to join the server? All of the instructions are in the Discord. And I would just ask somebody who's already on the server because I'm not going to answer any questions at this time. Since I'm streaming. That's just my excuse to not actually answer the questions and be helpful. But let me provide that Discord link. Because, of course, there's no way to actually join unless... Oh. Unless you have that link. And, of course... Copy. Hidden using copy button. What? Of course, yeah. 2 plus 2 equals chicken nuggets after all, yeah. See, you could put people into categories and groups and shit, but when you start doing that, the only reason to put people into groups is so you can advertise and market shit. Marketing requires that. That's the most help you're gonna get from me is the actual link to join the server. I really don't plan on blowing shit up on the server, so please don't destroy shit. Really, it's more of, let's play Factorio. Two plus 2 equals 5. You can blow up your own area, but I'm just gonna keep my shit not destroyed, please. I heard a spider fall in. That's funny. So this is my peroxide production line, and I of course need a need to do some peroxide production because we're about to get to that stage of the game, right? Peroxide production. And I suppose that means we can have ore processing set up on this side. Soon. Okay, so we'll start off with the blender. No, mixer, because that's what it's fucking called. Mixer. God, that shit. Easy cheesy, right? Actually, I fucking hate cheese. So it's easy rotten flesh. And I have a lot of cracked keys, but I don't have a lot of places to use these. So we'll just wait on that thing. Music and sounds. Nice. Why is there a section for players? Can you, like, fucking talk to each other? Have volumetric sound? Volumetric sound enabled. Hate cheese? Yeah. I suppose. Easy cheesy sounds stupid. It makes me think of fucking... some, like, fucking Velveeta or some shit. Disgusting cheese. However... one place that cheese isn't disgusting and is kind of useful is for, like, that's not very American. Okay. Well, one place that cheese is really great is when you're fighting Mask Man. Or, here's my favorite usage of cheese, is you put it in the exhaust of a tank, right? Because the tanks heat up, right? They heat up so fucking hot back there that they can fucking melt shit. They can probably burn shit even on the exhaust grating. So you just place a little bit of that smelly ass cheese on the back and let the tankers find out why all their shit's smelling later. It's a genius idea I've come up with, but I haven't actually executed on that idea. I'm just waiting until I think the time is right to go execute my mission to put cheese in the back of tank exhausts and cause absolute pandemonium. 3 tantalite seared cheese. It'd probably smell like fucking absolute shit. Especially if they couldn't figure it out until, like, because they're fucking stupid probably. How does one fight Mask Man with cheese? Well, you just dig under him and put a ton of holes in the ground, and then you have cheese, basically. It's gotta be like that one smelly cheese, though. That one super smelly cheese. I do have enough to make 2 of these. So we're gonna get started on that. I don't have enough vacuum tubes available at this time. However, I will be able to get that. So, we're going to make those vacuum tubes happen now. And we'll start on my next section of the circuit making to absolutely hurt people's minds. Blue cheese? No, there's one that smells worse. I forgot what it's called, like... Something German, though. It's a German cheese. At least it sounds German. But it was some very vile cheese that somebody once told me a story about. And I was like, oh god, a cheese story. That's pretty painful sounding. I'm gonna go ahead and make some steel plates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice. Some of this. We got a lot more people watching right now, which is pretty nice. It's pretty sweet. We do need to get a tier 4 anvil at this point. I feel like everybody's probably asking Cool Cat for tier 4 anvils. I was thinking about trading for that, but I am not going to do that. I've already made enough trades for one day. So I'm not going to be an absolute nuisance asking for trades that I don't really need anyway. I was going to build a nuclear reactor, but we're not going to do that. We're going to go working on the computer since that we're pretty far on that project. And my brain's back on for some more circuit production. Could log on and send my... I don't need your... Please don't do that. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm okay for anvils right now. Boom. And I think that's all I need. So now I can just make a couple. Fabian 1657 left the game. Oh, hey. Did somebody mention to him that he needs the 1 mods? Yeah. Somebody tell that man yes, that he has to make those. But also there's the new mods for the new architectures available. So, of course, I added in those mods for architectures. Block.js. Let's go ahead and make this look. No, don't do that. That's fucking dumb. You know how it's fucking dumb? Because I said it is. What's dumb is that if we do that, right, we have to obviously. It's pretty stupid to just connect this shit like through the ground. What the fuck is this? Oh, that's your switch button? Is it just because it's more obvious now that it's there? Why is it there? Anyway. Sulfuric acid. Hell yes. We are making the sulfuric acid. Next thing you know, we'll be making methamphetamine. So keep that in mind, YouTube. So first thing we do is we will take our methylamine and we'll react it with phenylacetone to get methamphetamine. And then we'll get demonetized on YouTube. Broken broadcaster jump scare? You mean like the corrupted broadcaster, or do you mean broken broadcaster? Like, because of the fucking Breaking Bad almost. Broken broadcaster. Busy with exactly that, XD. Do math, kids. Yes. Methamphetamine. Yeah, corrupted. This one's supposed to be nitric acid. There's 3 near Alex and me. You know what you can do to destroy them is you use... Oh, wait a second. I can make it from ammonia? Can I make that right now? Like the ammonia shit? Ammonia tetrachloride. That sounds great. I don't know what that is, but it sounds amazing. I think I just made that shit up. It probably isn't even real. I bet there's like an article on it, maybe. Probably somewhere. You know, science is interesting. There's things that you don't know are real until you just Google it and you see this obscure science article about some weird new compound like xenon difluoride or some shit. Be like, oh, xenon chemistry. I actually love xenon and noble gas chemistry. It's so boring because there's no actual chemistry there except for at the very end when you start getting those high level xenons and high level or what are they called? Higher mass elements that are actually able to pull in electrons and shit. Because you have to have a higher mass to even start thinking about that with the noble gases. No. You can destroy a broadcaster with just the rocket launcher. All you need is Carl Gustav and then you're good. Just shoot a Carl Gustav at it and then I actually think the meteor charm might help with that. Maybe. Maybe. If I can find mine. I actually have mine. Halves broadcaster damage. Well, that's not super great. But you can just bomb the shit. I'm just saying, if you have a rocket launcher, you can destroy it. I'll come over and help you out, since I might have something like that in storage. Yeah, we'll figure it out together. I'll help you out. I'm gonna come over with that. Since I do have some supplies, I need to just find my shit. I need explosives and a rocket launcher. I need that wire spool too. I'll take that with me. I actually don't have any rocket launchers. Does anybody else on the server have rocket launchers available? If so, we need one. We just need a rocket launcher. It's all we need. We could probably destroy it with grenades, actually. What does a grenade cost even? They actually probably are cheap as fuck. Oh yeah, I could make a couple of those. Those ones will do the job, I suppose. And then we need to clear out enough space. Do you have rockets? Or no? I'll try to help out where I can. I just need sand now. Okay, I got 48 of this. Huh, I could probably make that for cheaper if I had plutonium-239. Holy shit. That's cheap as fuck. Dude, you could probably destroy like half a continent with those alone if you mass produce that shit. I just need more steel. And wires too. 4. Okay. Well, I'll be on my way in a second. I do have the stuff to make grenades. I will want compensation afterwards. Of some kind. I mean, just a little bit. Just something to make it worth my time. Doesn't have to be much. How many? You said 3? So I should be able to blow it up with just a few grenades. Okay, cool. We'll be able to hit that shit. I'm gonna make a few grenades before I come over, though. Maybe I could TNT root my way to victory. What do you mean they don't do block damage? I'm pretty sure the IF grenade does. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Actually, I'm pretty sure it does. Oh shit, fuck that, don't do that. That was almost bad. Pretty sure it does, nerd emoji. Oh, I was gonna make 4 of them, but I didn't, so fuck that shit, we'll just make 3. Rockets don't? Well, that's sad. Well, what do you mean rockets don't do damage? What is the point of a rocket? Let me just say, what is the point of a rocket? I'm not mad or anything. I'm just questioning the math that you're doing. The math you're doing seems kind of off. I'm just saying. Seems almost as if an if grenade does damage or a rocket does damage. Pretty sure they do damage. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's like, they kinda suspiciously are high explosive rockets. And that sounds as if it would, highly explode blocks, right? You catch what I'm saying? Regular rockets do. I don't know about that one, Chief. Seems like they would do that. Oh, that's some radioactive shit right there. I don't want to touch that shit. It's like the world's worst landmine. You know what I mean? World's worst landmine. My neighbors are playing loud music. It's loud as fuck. Ah. You know, one of the things you can mine in your friend's area is all of his plants, by the way. But I've come with my grenades to help out where I can. So we'll see if those broadcasters are within eye reach. Or within local distance. So the IF grenade will destroy blocks and they'll provide you with a decent area. I'm assuming it's out in this wood line. Since this wood line would appear to be the most logical area where it would be hiding. I actually don't know if he's even claimed chunks here, but there should be. Where is he at? I was gonna help him. I'm here to help, but can't really help if he's not here. Hold on. What the fuck? Ah, it was just one of these. He said BRB. Yeah, I know. It's been a minute though. But he's talking about a different spot. Okay. Since we moved. Oh, okay. I can't really get you guys to help. Oh, wait, this isn't your guys' setup, is it? This is, oh, this is Xenon, or not Xenons. This is, Alterum's setup. Cool. Or something. I don't know. This is weird, though, that you would leave your oil setup right here. To the promised land. God damn it. Some fucking manifest destiny right there. No, that is still my setup. No, that's not my setup. Okay. Mine's got a balefire dud. Ah. Somebody is building Megaton. Inside of Minecraft. That'd be cool. Hang on, my Wi-Fi is being stupid. Okay. Yeah, what I would do is build a pillar, and then you'll be able to see very far. And when you can see very far, that's pretty useful. This seems as if somebody was pumping the ground with a fracking machine, with a fracking unit. But I'll give you the grenades if you want to go ahead and clear out the broadcasters from your area. Since, I mean, they're not close to my area, so it wasn't really mutually beneficial anymore. That's the only reason I was doing it. Mutual beneficiality. Fish. Has fish in it, so it's useful. I think I can provide the cords of one of the radios. Well, I can provide the grenades for you all. You all can have fun with the grenades. I'm not going to travel far. Can you not seal a comm with regular glass? What? What is that question? Computer? I don't know. Don't know what the question is. Negative energy annihilation grenade? I think we can make these on the fucking... on the other world. We could probably make the fucking black hole grenade even. No, not yet. Can you even get these anymore? Oh wait, you probably could get them. Am I getting messages on Discord or is that in the other place? I have the IP. I believe that the server is running on 1.7.10, but one mod pack plus separate mods do I need? I already found the mod pack already and MMT space. Where did my other things go? I'm getting messages on Signal, I think. I need to check my computer. The ARP button on my keyboard is going out. Our room. Oh, I thought it said seal a room with regular glass. Glass is a transparent block. So to seal it, you would probably need to use a non-transparent block. I mean, if it's having... Are you in space? Are you sealing it in space? Because that probably... I don't know, because I've sealed glass rooms in space. Glass works fine in space, from what I remember. In fact, I think it works exceptionally well in space, but... Could be wrong. So what's the thing? The fucking... Cryogenic distillation unit needs 12 stainless steel... Redstone energy space, and you can't seal it with regular glass? That's a new thing. That's sad. Are the walls of my machines... Are the walls made of machines cool? I have no idea. I'm not there to see it. Because HBM machines can never seal... Oh. That it isn't chisel glass yet. Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know, because chisel glass might also be transparent. You might be screwed if it's a transparent block. Because they might have been like, oh, slabs can't seal rooms. Let's just make all transparent blocks, not seal rooms. Since the game identifies slabs as a transparent block. Okay, we can probably already make nitric acid in the cryogenic distillation machine, so... We'll just ignore this setup. For now, we'll just do that. Xenial, you want to grab the grenades from fish? I can see one of the radios. Okay. I'm glad to help out some of my people on my server. This is pretty nice to do sometimes. Other times, it's nice to just blow everybody up. For fun, but sometimes it's nice. Giving them their promised land. Supporting Manifest Destiny. Okay, so what we need is acidizers now, which are pretty cool. I don't think I'm gonna get very far on this. But we'll start off with the stuff that I want to do. Actually, the stuff I can do... Well, we're kind of limited right now. Because I don't have mercury. I think I need to do the fucking setup for aluminum, but I don't want to do that right now. I think we could save that for another stream. Maybe tomorrow night I'll stream again. Start doing evening streams just to really boost my progress a little bit, since it kind of helps. We're going to work on the circuit again, since that was super complicated and fun. When you all show up, let me know, and I'll take care of the grenades for you all. I have them made. I just got to hand them to you all. Alright, so I'm going to boot this thing up. Turn on, and we're going to start working on code for this system. I don't have every single opcode, but we're going to go ahead and make, how do I clear it? Like, if I want to clear the whole thing, reset. List. And it should be empty, right? Okay. Del fish OS del, or actually, yeah, just del dash A. Oh, okay, so yeah, del dash R, maybe dash V. Del dash R. Then GUI. It'd be cool if I could just have a function that deletes every single thing. We'll just do that for everything. That way there's no chance of any issues. Binar. Alright, and then we're gonna make the actual edit. And then we'll call this one. What do I want to call this even? Like, we'll call this X16 since it's 16 bits and X is cool. X is cool? Since when? God damn it. What kind of baloney bullshit is this? This is a stupid thing. But anyway, we'll just make it X16. At least it's better than just X. It's because it's got a number that's bigger than 0. X0 or X with nothing. It's 16 times better than regular X. But X16 will have some cool little functions in here. So what we need to learn about is redstone. I can't read what you just said in the chat message because I can't read that. Hold on. Just put the hard drive in the crafting grid to clear it. Thank you. I'll do that next time. So what I need to do is figure out how the heck you even put in redstone. Control A. So open computers component dot redstone should give me what I'm looking for. Component : redstone. This component represents a redstone card. Cool. And of course, we're going to need a redstone card for this, which isn't that bad, probably. I don't know if it will wipe OS on it, though. I don't really care about the OS. I just care about a redstone card. So what do we even need for a redstone card, by the way? I'm thinking about it. Redstone card, tier 2, tier 1. Tier 2 signals around a computer or robot. Project Red is supported. We need the tier 2 one, and it's a good thing I actually have an ender pearl. Or not. But that's okay, we can get one fairly easily this night. So when that comes, I'll have to go get one. But for now, we'll just start off with our card base, which should be pretty simple to make. The grenades are here. Congratulations. Thank you. You're welcome. And then I'll go ahead and get back to what I'm doing. Let's see. Gold, iron. Cool. Those are the nuggets we need. And we're going to put those for a redstone card, since I need a redstone card apparently to do component.redstone. And the idea is that we need the tier 2 card because we're going to do Project Red with this, and then we need a microchip tier 2, a block of redstone, and that ender pearl. Which I should have all of that, the rest of that stuff, in here. I don't. It might be down in the basement. We'll check there next. Since that is a valuable material, let's just hop in the hole. And then we can get to work on that. Oh, we do have an ender pearl. Huh, look at that. It's all done pretty much. We just need those tier 2 circuit chips things. Chips, right? Chips, right? Oh, yeah, there they are. Cool. Head up to the surface. What's the problem here? Are we out of fuel or out of flux? Out of hematite? How do we run out of hematite? How the hell did that happen? Well, we made a couple stacks of iron that way. That's pretty good. Head up to the surface. We'll start building my tier 2 chip. Right? Tier 2 chip is amazing. Or it's gonna be. Boom, 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 and boom. Tier 2 card. Perfect. put that shit in the system. Oops. We don't need that shit anymore. I don't think it needed a graphics card. Or does it? Does it actually need a graphics card? I think it does. The screen is still on. Oops. Well, maybe in the future, be smarter to make a graphics card that is a tier 1 graphics card. Oops. We need a microchip. We have those, thankfully. Arithmetic logic unit, which also needs microchip and transistors. We should fortunately have all of that. And the stuff we need for that as well. Ah, yes. This is an ALU, just like the one I'm working on. Probably some bullshit in there. Who knows how that works? Me. Probably. Anyway. Before we get started on that stuff, just do this, 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 and this. It's nice and simple, not like what I'm building. And then we need these, and more of those. But don't worry, that shit's also pretty easy to make. Woohoo. Nice. Need paper. Apparently. Paper, memory card, we need... God damn it, another card base. I'm going insane at this rate. How did I screw up so bad? Cool, so this time we can actually do shit properly. Card base. Do this. Another memory RAM card, which is going to cost me those chips again. But I think I have everything I need. We just do that. That makes the chips, and then we make the RAM. I think it's something like this for the tier 1 RAM card. Yes. And then we're almost there. We just put all of this together, and we have it. We need an ALU. Goes there. ALU is done. Graphics card tier 1 is done. Put it in there. It's ready. Then we can turn it on. Again. Boot. There we go. Slash edit and then tab should just give us the only shit on there. X16. Oh. Edit. X16. So my X16 is going to be my architecture, basically. Now that we have the tier 2 redstone card, we can do our component redstone dot something. Get side colon number. So what we're looking for is the project red stuff. Bundled input, colors, and then boom. But, you know, it's kind of a pain in the ass to type shit out. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to assign things simply to variables to start off. The idea is you assign your variables, you go global variables first, right? Because local and global are different. Global will be throughout your program, and local will be different. But before we even start on this, we'll just start modeling out what's going to be what. Okay, so we're going to type in Lua so we can do testing in our interpreter right here. Remember, Control D to exit your interpreter and stuff like that. So we're going to start off with global and see if this is even what I think it is, so that way it works. Global is nil, but if we do global 1 or global 1 equals, or global A equals 1, okay, maybe not. But basically you can set global variables or local variables Well, it's gonna run the system for my other thing. I believe Cool Cat has a system to run his Xernox reactor off of this. You can technically run any kind of thing you want off of this too. Like you could use this to route items and shit. Especially with Project Red, we have up to 256 analog frequencies on a cable and up to 16 colors per bundled cable that you can have 256 for a total of 4,096 cables. Although that could be wrong and it could just be 16 frequencies. So like you can have frequency specific systems that run on, okay, this one needs this much power, but you're probably not going to need 4,096. And you can probably get away with having just 16 of those. And if you needed to have different systems run on, you know, decodes and shit, you can always just put a decoder and be like, use binary instead. Then you only have 16 cable. You have 256 potential things you could run using binary decoders and shit off of a Project Red bundled cable. So it's really just a control system, and then you can monitor shit. Like you can have different percentages of things. As long as you know programming, you can do a lot of shit with this. You can read how much items are in things and put it right in the computer and be like, all right, well, we have 10% of this. Like, you can do exact oil recipes. Exact. You can be like, oh, when I have 80 of this, or when I have 100 of this, split it down into, boom, exact amounts. You know, that's obviously pretty useful for reactors specifically. But not only reactors, anything you want if you're trying to save on resources or stuff like that for automation usually. So we have our global A equals 1. I know C, Python, or Java and Python, but not Lua. Really, it's not hard to learn it. All you need to do is look at the system in or look at Lua on the website, or just open up the Open Computers documentation, and there's a little bit of information there. The other thing is that I'm also working on my own system that can use this, but it won't be anywhere near as powerful unless you know Lua. So that way you can actually integrate into the main system, but I'm going to create my own kind of system that runs on a chip from, or an integrated circuit from the other thing. So if I do local just cause equals 3, then if I do just or print just cause, it should give me 3. No. Maybe it needs to be in parentheses, or maybe it needs to be printf. And then of course you can do insert, or of course, apparently this wants to do that. And I know in Python it is any of the just cause. But then it needs to print out just cause, you know what I mean? Like a variable. Maybe if it's just cause like that. Or maybe if I just type just cause. Maybe print just cause. Do this. Maybe if it's got to be in these, or it's probably not. Just cause. Okay, yet again, another failed attempt to print this variable out. That's the main thing, is that you want a local or global variable. Does not work. Okay. Global just is print parent. Oh, okay. That might be why I'm stupid. Thank you so much. Because I was working with Bash, and this is almost... No. Because if I want to print out the actual variable... How do you print out a variable? It doesn't matter, though, because I know I don't need to know any of that shit. Control D, we're just going to go ahead and edit x16 again. So the x16, we're just going to say... Yeah, it's a variable. I think all I need to do is local. And then I can make my variables for all of the different redstone stuff. And then that will be... Okay, so we'll do bin... All caps, bin out. Or actually, I'll just do capital B-I-N-O. So that way I know it's capital out. You may have to do that in a program to get it to retain the variable. Okay. How do you declare global variables? And instead of the console? Yeah, the console... well, it's called an interpreter. Python has that shit too. Python, I like Python. It's simple. You just use the interpreter and you can learn a lot of shit that way. Local bin out, and then we would do our next step, which is the other shit. Then run the program. Equals, and then we put in here whatever our bullshit we don't want to do is. Which in this case is going to be component.redstone set bundled output. Component dot redstone and then it is of course case sensitive as well. Okay, so you don't want to be like doing weird shit with cases. Dot set bundled output. I believe it's an O for that, or capital O for that. Now, when we look at it, bundled output sides dot left. Okay, yeah. That's all it needs to be, though. It doesn't need to be any more than that. And then that's bin out, and then we can do our local bin in, and then boom. But these are just that's like the worst way of doing this, honestly. Now technically you could put all of these in the same thing and just do like sum. What we could do is put the full command in here, and we can just type in like our fucking, right? But we'll just try that. No, let's not do that. So what I'm gonna do is just make the actual entirety of the sum or add. So that would be my add command. That also needs to be, we need to prefix it with mux or multiplexer. That way it knows that run the multiplexer for add. And then we also need to have other things like that. Local ADD all caps, and then it's gonna do output, and it's gonna output through this side and input into the next system, which is gonna be over there. Yes, that's how it's gonna work, I think. I think that's how it's gonna work. I don't know. Local add, and then we would do our, if it gets local add, then it just runs the next thing. This would also be great for a microcontroller system, because then you could program that however you need it. But of course, that's a lot less room. You have for like 4,096 kilobytes that you can put in a microcontroller EEPROM. EEPROM, okay. Add. Now I'm thinking. My brain is churning right now. But 0, 0, 0 on all of our outputs. Or, well, you wouldn't even put any colors. You wouldn't put any energy output into that. Yeah, you would just put no energy output into the system. But at the same time, it also needs to receive 1 bit minimum. So we'll just put it as color.output. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Yeah, we'll do that. Equals component dot redstone dot set output, set bundled output. Okay, not comma, dot set bundled output, and then you start your parentheses off, I believe. Sides dot left. Is that caps on any of those? No, just sides. Dot left. Then you start your brackets because it's Lua. I hate Lua. Sides dot left. Then you do your colors dot for your cable, and that's in the square brackets now. Colors dot white. And of course, you wouldn't want to type this out, but that's when the system I will create will come in handy, because then this allows you to interface directly with the system for the other computer, and you would set this color.white to be 16. It should be able to handle 256, but I don't remember correctly. That might not work and it might break shit. But from there, we put in our curly bracket again. Give it a space, give it a curly bracket, and give it a parenthesis right there. Closing off that system, Control S. And the idea is that my system will basically, this is the architecture that we're developing, or, well, a compiler for, to get to Lua, but then to interface with my binary, which is weird, but apparently that's how that's going to work. I don't know how this is like the most complex, sophisticated system, or weird way of doing it, but now if I type add, it should just do that program, and I can hit Control S. Now if I hit Control W and we do X16, don't bother with that shit, but X16, syntax error, UF, even though this should work, what the fuck? Near blah 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 blah. Number 2, syntax near and error capture. What the fuck does any of that mean? It's also at 59. So edit X16. We'll go to 59. Well, this is line 2, and it does capital ADD. But also, there's something wrong here at 59. Oh, it's the comma. There's no reason for... No? Maybe it's the space between that? Maybe it's the curly brackets? Does there need to be space between the curly... Oh, there is. There's a space between the curly brackets. I think I hate Lua. Okay, space between the curly brackets is important. Okay. I think that's part of the problem solved. If not, I don't know what it could be. Control S. Control W. I don't think it's going to change shit. Okay. :2 : stack traceback error capture blah blah blah. I don't even know what any of that means. Edit x16. Okay, we're back to our x16. Maybe it's that it doesn't run like that anymore. I think it might just be that it doesn't do that. Such as the may not function as expected for simple on-off values. You may need to use a higher value such as 255. Oh, it supports 255 for that. Example use. Wait, can it just be print or RS? You could just do RS instead of reds or like full fucking. Oh wait, no, that's just because they said local.rs first. Ah, but they did it even smarter. What if I just did local.rs instead? Local.component equals component require oh. Hang on a second. Equals require. Wait, what? Oh, I just connected. Is it because the server reset? Seems like that'd happen right about now. Right? System colors. I guess it needs to require something. Maybe. Component.redstone. Okay, so you do require. Oh, maybe it's require. Let me see. I'm reading their code. RS equals component.redstone. Cool. Print.rs get red. I don't know. I'm probably not sure what I'm doing. I mean, the way they do it is weird usually, but maybe it needs to actually have local.require or local component. Require component. Okay, let's try that out. Let's add in a local component equals require parentheses quotations component. No caps on that. Parentheses at the very end. And then sides require sides. Local sides equals. I'm guessing it needs to actually do these things because this basically is stuff I was missing before. Basically like stuff to tell it what each of these things means. And then it requires to have those. I'm not sure what that even means necessarily, but what I can say is that it probably means something involving the actual hardware side of things. I mean, the simulated hardware. Parentheses at the very end. Control S. There we go. My X16 program should be done. Now when I go ahead and put in X16, syntax error near 5. Okay, line 5 is fucked up somehow. Global XP call, error capture. Component.redstone. What the fuck is the issue? Okay, we're gonna try Lua. Component. We're gonna type in component dot redstone We can't really do much interfacing if I can't add in a simple language that will allow me to tell it to output on this line, and this line, which is the idea. Component.redstone dot set bundled output. Okay, then you do your this thing, sides dot. Now is it colors or what? Sides dot left only sets one output. Oh, huh, weird. Weird. Okay. Anyway. Sides dot left, comma. Then again with that. Curly brackets. What the fuck? Did I just insert my fucking Discord link? What the fuck? Yes, this bracket, and then colors dot white, probably. I'm guessing it's a dot white. Yeah, I actually kind of like Lua because each of these things is like separated by a dot, and it kind of feels like an actual like, oh, if I have a dot there, that means do the next thing. You know what I mean? Colors dot white. It just goes in sequence. If you like sequential things, maybe this will be for you. Equals 16. Equals 255, right? And then boom, do your fucking curly brackets and then your regular brackets to close it off. We'll just see if that's the problem and if it works in the interpreter. Interpreter, go. 0, 0, 0, 0. What the fuck is the issue? And it just puts out zeros? What's the problem? Huh? Wait, is that what it's supposed to do? Does it just not work in the other thing? Hang on a second. But if we do... Okay, but what if we do local add, right? Add ADD equals that. Then we type in add. It's nil. But it worked there, so that's not the issue. It's just something's wrong with telling it to do add. Maybe it's add dot. Which should basically say, do this specific number. Because I set it to say that. So I'm basically just creating a library that you can interface with. I don't know what the issue is. I'm going to just turn it off for now, and I can work on it later. Then we'll get back to working on this shit. My ALU, which is still in progress. Actually... You know what? I think I'm done for the day. Let's just be done for now. I'll see you guys next time, and we'll continue with my project to make some great machinery. Actually, while I'm at it, before we even end today's episode, I'm going to go ahead and make something to display this, since I think that's a cool idea. And people like cool ideas, right? Item frame... As long as nothing comes around and destroys my shit. Oh, they don't display like they do in 112. But anyway, that's where I'm going to put it for now. See you all next time, and goodbye.